Welcome back, friends, to another episode of the Zephcast, the show where we get to know your favorite content creators, streamers, and podcasters alike. I am your host, ZephyrsXP, and with me today, we got Soulsborne aficionado, BBQ connoisseur, and my legendary friend, Suits, here on the show. Thank you so much for being here today, Suits. How's your day going, man?
Amazing, and it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for letting me on your show.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to come hang out here, get to know a little bit more about you. I'm really excited. I got a ton of questions, and I'm just really excited to see where our conversation takes us.
Well, let's rock and roll.
So, customary on the show to always start out with a fun icebreaker question. So, you think you're ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right. If you could choose any two famous people to have dinner with, who would you choose and why?
Ooh, that is a really good question. One of them would be Stephen Hawking.
Ooh.
Because from a child, I had an absolute love of physics, and hearing his theoretical physics talk and the conversation that would happen from that, outstanding. And then if I could properly communicate with him, Sir Isaac Newton.
Ooh.
Also, because again, my love for physics and having those two gentlemen in the same room at the same time, I just want to be a fly on the wall at this point.
It would break the space-time continuum.
There we go.
Dude, that would be really, really, really cool. Have you seen that Stephen Hawking movie that came out a couple years ago? I think it's The Theory of Everything, I want to say.
Yes, I have. Yes.
That was a
excellent.
good movie.
Loved it so much.
I remember getting the breaking news a few years back when Stephen Hawking had passed away. And I can't remember what movie my wife and I were watching, but I literally stopped the movie and I was like, I started crying, and I'd never met him before, never had any personal connection, but there was just this moment of this is an Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein level genius that the world just lost. And those are, you could probably have that amount of intelligent people on the world, you could probably count them on one hand. So it was a truly sad moment for sure. But I mean, Stephen Hawking, Isaac Newton, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson said he thought Isaac Newton is the smartest human being to ever live.
Absolutely. Just figuring out calculus on his own, and basically at the end of his teens inventing calculus.
Yes. It's I don't quite know why the planets are circling around the sun, so I'm gonna invent this math to be able to solve it. And he was 20 years old or 18 or there's something crazy. Just the amount of brilliance is absolutely insane. So jumping into the actual first question of the podcast, who is SuitsHere the streamer and the person behind the streamer?
Oh my goodness.
Deep question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Day to day, I'm a family man. I'm a cyber professional. I really am passionate about my career and what it pertains to the world and how things within the cyber industry impact everyone's day-to-day life in a very transparent way that no one knows that it's touching them. And as a streamer, I just have an extreme passion for really getting to know people, and also difficult games because I'm masochistic for some reason. And I always go through life with the mindset of everyone brings something unique to the table. Everyone has something that makes them them. I want to know what that is that makes each person who they are. And that's why I love getting to interact with chat, getting to interact with people on Discord is something that streaming offers you in a way that nothing else really brings to the table. And just from growing up as a serial hobbyist, I've done so many weird hobbies throughout my life, and getting to share those experiences with all these other people who have separate passions is just a utter joy. And streaming has been able to do that for me.
Streaming's pretty powerful when you think about it, just the way it can connect people from all around the world who without it we probably would not be able to meet, and then just develop these connections with people that are just so profound, and the amount of conversations we can have with each other, especially when we get on calls like this on Discord and can just have real in-time conversations. It's been a life-changing thing for sure for me, and I know for so many others. Sorry, what were you saying?
I would have never thought something like this conversation happening right here would ever happen to me. It just, we're on different sides of the country. We're doing completely different things in our lives, and just getting to meet each other and really find these wonderful human beings is just a joy.
I completely agree, honestly, and especially like when it comes to this stuff, like the podcast, this has been one of the best things probably I've done ever, because I've never been like a super duper social person, so this is a great kind of get out the comfort zone. And especially when it comes to Twitch, I mean, just the amount of incredible friends I've made on Twitch has been outstanding, including yourself, my friend. That's really cool though. Like, when you're talking about your career in cyber, is it like cyber security particularly?
Yes, I've been, oh my goodness, I've been in the IT world and as a career for 2 decades now.
Wow.
Not kidding, 2 decades. And I'm in my early 30s, so I'm like opened my own little company in IT as a kid.
What?
And yeah, and at the midpoint in college, I started interning and really dove into the cyber world.
That's super cool. Is it what you're trying to do, prevent people from hacking like information, getting personal information, stuff like that, essentially putting the preventions in?
It's mostly preventions, because if you're doing offensive stuff, that's not exactly legal. Even if you're doing your offense for a defense, that's not legal. So everyone, hacking is illegal. Don't do hacking, because you will get caught and you will get in trouble. Period.
Right.
But the whole goal of like the industry is, it's the unsung hero that sits in the background that's making sure everyone's data is safe. Because imagine just how little someone needs to find out about Zeph for them to actually harm you, like fiscally, or even your name by faking who you are. And it's my passion to protect everyone from those terrible things that can happen to them.
Yeah, I had Doro on the podcast last week, and there was a conversation we had about someone had gotten a hold of his information, and he ended up getting doxxed. And
yeah, I was there for that.
That is beyond terrifying, like stuff that can happen.
We had a long phone call afterwards where I showed him, hey, this is how you properly report it to the FBI. Here's the data that you need to have. Here's what I captured from the interactions that I saw that happened online. And I just made sure my presence was known in his chat. Like, hey, you done messed with someone. Right. And there's someone here who knows cyber law. So, let's play. Give me more stuff to just hang you with.
God, that's so scary. On a big hesitance for me before I started streaming was the idea of people getting personal information. And like, I know I'm a very tech savvy person. I'm pretty smart with technology. I'm very careful to always like look at everything and try to monitor stuff. But I know there are so many people who are so much smarter than me and can just hack around that like it's nobody's business. So that's super interesting. I knew you were in like the kind of software field, but I didn't know you were like specifically for cybersecurity.
That's what I do.
My mom's husband, I believe he also does, I think he does more like coding stuff as well, but he also works in IT and like cybersecurity stuff as well. And it's, oh man, he's told me so many stories that are fascinating, terrifying, horrifying, incredible. It's so interesting how like our entire system of everything, of information, of technology, of money, of finance is just all related, and
all of it,
how it can be broken by, you hear stories of some 16-year-old with a laptop hacking into the Pentagon or some crazy stuff like that. So was that Suits in another life?
No, I've never done any illicit hacking. I've only played around at home against my own things where it's 100% legal.
Yes. It's interesting when you think about it. Like, defense is okay, but offense is not okay in that regard.
Well, that way you hold everyone to the same standard of no matter what the offense is, you're not allowed to do it.
Right. That totally makes sense. Are you like pretty familiar with like coding and stuff as well?
A little bit. I'm more on the policy, procedure, implementation, and managerial side.
Gotcha. Wifey and I have been talking quite a bit about like taking some like coding classes and kind of diving into the whole software side of coding stuff. And I always thought it to become like the software engineer that, is so, idolized by so many like top paying jobs and, most, soon to advanced jobs or like growing jobs. Everyone always talks about software engineers and coders. And we've kind of been looking into that. And it seems like you don't quite need a degree to get into some of those fields.
It depends. If you want to actually get into like some serious detail on that, I'm happy to talk to you anytime about that.
Ooh, I might take you up on that because that's definitely something we're talking pretty heavily about.
I can help you write a good resume too.
Hey, those resumes, I mean, that gets you in the door, right?
It does.
Kind of stemming off of that, I do gotta know, I think we kind of all already know the idea around where the suit came from, but do you kind of have an origin story, how SuitsHere, the suit, it all kind of plays together? Like an origin story?
Well, it came from work because I love dressing up at work, and it just when I look like $1 million, I feel like $1 million, and I really got into sartorial, which is men's dress fashion. Back like 5 years ago, and I've just been taking off from then. So I thought, you know what? Here's something that I got to do in my day-to-day life pre-COVID that I don't get to do anymore because I work from a home office now.
Right.
So take this little hobby of mine that I really enjoy and that not many people share, and then use that as part of my online persona, which is still part of me, but just coupling those two together it was a lot of fun.
It is. When I was in my last year in high school, and then kind of like a couple of years beyond, I was just super into suits and the dressing up and everything. So I wore the bow ties, had the 3-piece, had the peaked lapels, no to button the top button, but not the second button. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. When it comes,
man, you know it, man. You know it.
As weird as it sounds, it was like I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember seeing a photo of Justin Timberlake, and he had like a nice blazer on and a tie, and then he had like really nice jeans on. And I was like, that's an interesting combo, and that was like a big thing in like late 2000s to kind of pair those two together. I'm a fan of it too. I rocked it, and it was good, man. Wifey and I, we'd go to like no joke, we would literally go to Nordstrom's for like dates. We would like take a date to Nordstrom, and I would just dress up in these like $200-$300 English silk ties, and it was just it was fun. Suits are super fun, honestly.
And it always makes you look better. Just putting on that sport coat just does something.
It does.
I love it.
And it's so true. I believe exactly what you said about dressing like $1 million can make you feel like $1 million, because there really is a subconscious effect where you're dressed up, you got the tie on, you're decked all the way out, you sit down and you're like, I just feel like I got to get work done,
It's helpful. It adds a little more presence when you are in a meeting and you're the one with the sport coat. It does something.
Yes. It's and the thing with suits is like, they're one of those things that if worn incorrectly, like way too big of a suit, or, maybe something a couple decades, a little too old, maybe it can kind of be an eyesore a little bit. But when somebody just hits it right, it's chef's kiss for sure.
You can never go wrong with the classic gray or the navy. Just if you stick to those, you will never go wrong.
My favorite suit I ever saw I was actually trying to look up the name of the actor before the show, and I couldn't find the name of it, but he was from the 60s, and he wore this like blue navy with these very light pinstripes, and it was just so good. It was, because I think like big bold pinstripes, I'm not super crazy about that, but those like very light thin ones, it is just such a look. I'm all for it. So
I got one pinstripe sport coat, and I put that on every now and then, and
do you go for the French cuffs as well?
I do seldomly, because typical French cuffs, I spend so much time on a keyboard, the cufflinks will just get in the way. But if I'm not going to be, it's not a day of typing, I'll be in French cuffs.
Do you have like some pretty nice cufflinks as well?
A couple.
It's like that extra accessory, right? Like as though the suit could get accessorized even more. It's like, you got to get some nice cufflinks as well.
Well, honestly, in like men's dress fashion, there's not too many jewelry options. If you can go too far on rings, if you wear a necklace, it looks tacky. It's pretty much watch cufflinks. Pretty
much, yeah. And then maybe like a wedding ring, or some people wear like a class ring or something. I've seen some people do like the tie clip, like a thin one can be pretty decent if done right.
I'll do a tie clip, but yeah, it can be too much.
When it comes to the tie, are you a fan of bow ties at all?
Not really. Like, I'm a very broad guy. I have a 46-inch sport coat, so the tie looks like this on me. So it just, I dwarf the tie that I wear.
Make it like look small?
Yes, I make it look small, and then it's like,
I mean,
also tying a bow tie.
Ooh, that's tying a bow tie.
They're hard to tie. I own a few of them, and gosh, are they hard to tie.
They are. Wifey used to get really good at like, she started to enjoy it, so she would like tie my bow tie for me when I used to wear them a lot. But yeah, like tying a regular tie is so much easier than tying a bow tie. I don't know, there's something about that look though. Like again, if done correctly, just a bow tie, maybe with like a 3-piece, it just looks so good.
Okay, with a 3-piece, yes, because then you have that like extra thing to complement. Yes, absolutely.
Right. Oh, I knew we were gonna talk about suits and stuff. Like, I don't get to talk about suits with anybody, because everybody my age, it just seems is like, why would you wear a suit when you can wear yoga pants and leggings and basketball shorts and Nikes? And I'm like, oh, there's something about it. Everyone needs a good, just even if it's one good solid fitted suit. You
need it for that funeral, that wedding, or that job interview.
Yes. Oh man, seeing some people, like when I was working at my job, seeing some people just walk in for an interview and they'd have like, I don't know, they'd have like shorts on, and one guy came in like a freaking basketball jersey and like basketball shorts. I'm like, is that really how you want to walk into a job, man? I mean, you do you, of course. Maybe you're the suaviest talker in the entire universe, but first impressions, like, first impressions are weird, because like there's so much more to a person than just that initial 10 seconds, but like it's just the reality. It kind of is what it is. Like, humans are so susceptible to that first impression,
It's so true, and it is so sad, but it's part of how we're wired, sadly.
It is. It's an evolutionary, I don't know if it's a misstep, I don't know what it is, but it just kind of is what it is in that regard. So do you have a favorite particular person you look up to who rocks the suit best, do you think?
Oh, I won't shout him out specifically, because I don't want to just drop his name, but okay. It's a former boss of mine took me under his wing, and he did some really high-end, really cool things, but he took me under his wing. And he really showed me, like, this is when you wear a pocket square. This is what you do with the tie and the pocket square. And there would be like lunch hours where we would just sit there comparing, like, hey, I found this, what do you think? And we would like bulk order suits together, and just, oh yes. So I had a boss that I just looked up to, and it was amazing. He's still a mentor I highly value.
I'm getting that scene from, have you seen Crazy Stupid Love?
I love Crazy.
Yes, with Ryan Gosling, and
I don't know why I love that movie so much, but I do. And yes,
and he like takes him out to go shopping for everything, and he like has the Velcro wallet. He's like,
"Are you Steve Jobs?"
Right.
Are you a billionaire?
Oh man.
Then no.
Exactly. Such a good scene. Yeah, when you find somebody that you connect to on just those little specific hobbies that people enjoy, oh, you just gravitate immediately to them. You're like, wait a minute, you like pocket squares too? Come here, let's go to lunch together immediately, right?
Absolutely.
So a little bit off the side of the suit talk, what originally did get you inspired to start streaming on Twitch?
So this is a really weird story, kind of, but I had no plan of streaming at all. Like, I showed up onto the Twitch stream scene. Actually, I have the date in front of me. November 5th of 2020. November 5th of 2020. I was getting starting to look into Bloodborne. Like, I want to really get into Bloodborne first playthroughs again because I love this game so much. And started watching on Twitch again, and then I'm actually counting you, Zeph, were the 7th person I followed.
Really?
When I came back to, you were number 7 from who I followed.
Wow.
And it was out of the 300 and some odd I follow right now. And throughout October, November, December, I would call my buddy and say, hey man, I'm playing this game that you want to watch. I'm just going to put it on Twitch. Here's the link. And he and I would just talk on the phone, watching me play the game and just be muted. It was nice. The worst stream you could possibly imagine. Didn't have chat up, wasn't talking to anything or anyone, doing nothing. And then I thought, you know what? I'll try a stream. And I thought, I'll just do, I have a character ready. I'll do a new game plus speed run of Bloodborne. And my buddy found out I wanted to do this. And he said, hey, let me know when. I'll raid you. So he came in with a raid of 50.
Wow.
And because I had all these subsequent streams of me on the phone with my buddy before that, I got affiliate instantly because my average just shot through the roof. Well, I'm an affiliate now at the end of December. I guess I'll give this a go. And it's just been so much fun since I'll send you a picture. I have a picture of my first stream that I did where I was talking to chat. It's literally a blue snowball microphone strapped to my chest with a necktie. What? With me lounging in a chair so I could balance the microphone on my chest while playing Bloodborne. Wired it directly into the PlayStation. It is the jankiest setup you can imagine, and that is how I started streaming.
If you can make it work with that, then I don't want to hear anybody on Twitter again saying you're saving up for that $5,000 PC so you can start streaming from your PlayStation 4. But seriously, those are the kind of stories I feel like so many people need to hear. Is no matter what you got, if you really, really want to start streaming, you probably already have everything at your disposal to just hit that button and go live.
Right here, my fill light that I have illuminating this set is a Target lamp with a t-shirt on it.
Nice.
I'm not kidding. To this day,
nice. It's
a Target lamp with a t-shirt with a matched just white level bulb compared to my other lights.
Honestly, lights are one of those things too that make such an enormous impact on a stream.
Huge.
But they're the cheapest thing that you can get. You can get a $10-$20 light that just ups your quality tenfold. It's insane.
You can have the piddliest little webcam, put good lights on it, it's going to look good.
Yes. It's like the difference. I mean, I've seen some videos where somebody takes a $50 webcam with a $20 light, and it looks better than a $2,000 camera in complete darkness because you gotta have that light. It's so important. Yeah, no, that is super awesome. Number 7, I remember when you did start streaming. Do you think a big reason why you kind of hit affiliate so fast is because you're so involved as friends and an active member in so many different communities as well?
That really was it for me as well. I'm just a very sociable person. I think you've picked up on that.
Yes.
I do networking professionally, and I love doing that. So just I'm in over 100 Discord servers over here.
Wow.
I don't pretend to try and read everything that I get, but just getting to connect to people. I just so many people. I just love talking to so many people. So I got to have these little mini personal connections just through chat that I built a lot of friends inside Twitch, so that it just, the networking side really helped me get there. It's something I love doing.
Yeah, having that networking piece and just that want to go out of your way to meet more people. And you know, there's been times where I've just thought, like, if you really want to, whether it's growth or whatever you're looking for out of streaming, just taking that extra step, sending that message first, being the first person to start that conversation, that can do absolute wonders, you know. And I know not everybody's maybe as extroverted as you are. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty introverted. I would say I'm very introverted, oddly, but like just taking that step sometimes and like just go for it, you know. And making friends has like been one of the best experiences on Twitch, hands down. Do you think that's been kind of the highlight for you so far?
100%. There are friendships that I've made on Twitch that I think are going to last the rest of my lifetime. I'm planning get-togethers with multiple people, and I'm working on getting more get-together plans, and I'm building a map of where everyone is in the nation. So if I'm on a business trip in that area, I'm like, hey, what you doing? Let's make this happen.
I got a kick-ass barbecue joint here in Portland that maybe you can give your opinion on. So when you are in the PDX,
yeah.
Absolutely taking you out to lunch, my friend.
Oh, heck yeah, I am down.
I hear you are quite the brisket connoisseur.
Oh, it's one hobby that I do not get to do enough, and that I do love so much. But so just background on it, I got very lucky. When my grandfather passed away, I inherited his beautiful ceramic smoker that my mother told me stories of the meat that my grandfather made on this thing. So I'm like, I have time. I'm working from home. Let's see what I can do here. So I learned like where I need to put the meat on the grill, how to season it, how much smoke, what temperature I need to have it to, and then just the wife, when I say, hey, I want to smoke something, she's like, okay, we'll do this and this and this, and what else can you do? And with the timeline of how much wood you have on the smoker. So it's I've done only one brisket stream. I hope to do another sometime soon, but I did like a mini stream beforehand where I showed, this is like, here's the brisket that I got from the butcher. Let me show you exactly how to do a Texas style brisket. How you trim it. This is exactly how I season it. I'm not holding any secrets back. And then did a almost 13-hour long stream of me cooking the brisket outside, and then it ended. Still my hottest clip that I have ended with me cutting into the brisket and just showing how juicy that thing.
That sounds so good, honestly. Do you think the brisket is your favorite thing to put on the barbecue?
I think a good pork shoulder, because I can take that smoked pork shoulder and do so many more things with it. My last pork shoulder I did, I'm like, okay, here's the smoked bone from the pork shoulder. Let's make some tonkatsu broth.
Oh God.
And then let's slice this smoked pork into some fresh ramen that I'm making. And let me make some pulled pork sandwiches with some of the leftovers. So there's all these things that you can do with, like, I have a 5-pound hunk of meat, and now do all these other little things. Whereas brisket, it's wonderful, it's amazing, but it's brisket. It's always going to be brisket. Kind of like the creme de la creme, though, of my grilling career has been my pastrami that I made.
Oh my goodness.
It took me a month, not kidding, a month to make the pastrami, because you need to brine the pastrami in a seasoned salt bath for like 3 to 4 weeks. Then I spent a day cooking it, a day smoking it, and then letting a day of it just resting with all the flavors getting into it. It was heavenly. Wow,
I was literally just about to say that sounds and heavenly is the perfect word for it. So when you do that, do you add like some good barbecue sauce to it, or do you kind of like stay away and just kind of let the meat do all the talking?
I let the meat do the talking, simply because I'm I'm having it to carry that very unique smoked flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a subtle flavor that sauce would commonly obliterate it. So I usually stick to it's the meat.
Yeah, I've heard a chef say that like a really good sauce, barbecue sauce, steak sauce, whatever it is, a really good sauce is good for something that a piece of meat that's not the best or maybe just mediocre. But like once you get like a really nice piece of meat, that's when you don't really want to touch the sauce. Kind of leave it be.
You want it for the masterpiece of what it is.
Right. Oh man, wifey has this I think it's an iron skillet that she's very careful to like not put in the dishwasher for rust or whatever, and she swears that the more she uses it, just like the flavors build on it, it just gets more flavorful. So I'm not much of a cook myself. She definitely is the master when it comes to cooking and all of that. So but I really have been interested in getting into barbecue one of these days. So
hey,
for sure,
I can. Here's my one thing that I stand by. Most things like don't sink everything into whatever you want to try out. Don't be afraid to try out a hobby, but don't go full bore, because if you don't like it, you're out a lot of things. Make do with some things. So if you want some of that discussion of what can I do to get started, I'm always there to talk about that.
100%. It's kind of like streaming. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to kind of get going. Just get going with what you got, right?
Use a blue snowball taped to your chest with a necktie.
Yes.
Connected directly to a console.
Yes. I mean, that's definitely the way to go. I mean, I've seen streamers hit partner on Twitch just streaming straight from their PlayStations, you know, not having any fancy alerts or overlays or anything. It's one of those things where, like just any hobby, if you really want to do it, just get started with what you got and make small improvements along the way, right?
Exactly.
I did see on your Twitch as well that you were really interested in self-help and development. Do you have
yes.
Do you have like
Go
a
ahead.
particular author or like motivational speaker that kind of like hits it out of the park for you that you look up to a lot?
For me, I have an annual read list that I go through, since a lot of the like motivational speakers, a lot of the self-help authors are just there to milk a cash cow, because
They give
it's
the
like
oomph.
you sell the same thing said a different way 20 times, and you're a millionaire because everyone buys the book because everyone wants to be a better version of themselves, which I am happy that people want to be better versions of themselves, but don't fall for the trap of all these things that people are selling. So I have an annual read list that I go through, and those people really kind of make me look inside and kind of think, what do I need to change? Because everyone can be a better version of themselves.
True.
Step one in becoming a better version: never compare yourself to others. Only compare yourself to the you of yesterday. Because if you start comparing yourself to others, people are climbing a different ladder. People have a different life. People have different skills. You are just going to start running a race you can never win. Always be looking at yourself and reflecting on what you are and what you want to change. But the number one book that I go through is, hold on.
I would even say to that, like, that's probably so true that is one of the most important life advices to hit. It's also probably the hardest life advice to actually keep.
And also even in streaming, because I see so many people that come to me going, why don't I have these numbers to this person? Or why am I not having this to this person? Why do they have more followers than me? And I say, just stop comparing yourselves. Go on your journey, figure out what you want to change and what you want to work on. It's going to it hurts to realize that it's you that you need to fix if there's a change that you want to happen, because no one is perfect. Right. It's taking ownership of yourself, and taking ownership of yourself is so hard to do.
It is. Sorry, what was the book list you're saying again? My bad.
I'm brain farting right now, but one of them is it's an old book. It's just an essay. So realize it's an old book. realize it's just an essay and realize that it's from like the turn of the 20th century. So it's old. So there's some verbiage in there that some people may not like, but there's a really good message built in, and it's the As a Man Thinketh. It's like 19 pages. It's one of my go-tos. Wonderful. Also, Sun Tzu's Art of War is another one that another one of my regular reads. And also look up the author Viktor Frankl. He talks about what drives humans, what is the core thing that makes people do what they want to do as a Holocaust survivor, because he watched people get stripped down to just nothing. Just all their sense of self went away. And he talked about the time and the struggles that he went through and what made some people survive the struggle and some people not survive the struggle. It's a hard read, but oh my gosh, does it really speaks to me, and I cry every time I read it. But it's Viktor Frankl, an amazing read.
I'm immediately intrigued. It kind of reminds me of like Schindler's List, one of the hardest movies to watch, but like, my God, everybody has to watch it at least once.
Absolutely.
You know, I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that a lot of those dark, nightmarish kind of truisms about humanity, they're so fascinating to like dive into, and just never to agree with a lot of them, but just to take that step back and just I was talking about this on stream actually earlier today. I was like, just the ability to not agree but understand where somebody's coming from is one of the most valuable, I don't know if it's a skill set, but it might be a skill set, just like one of the most valuable things anybody can learn, you know, to be able to I wish a lot of our country, I wish a lot of the world could understand this more, but just be like, I don't agree with you on some things, but I want to understand why you think the way you do, why you got from here to here, you know?
And being able to get to that point is really challenging, because you have to shed a lot of preconceived things that you have, and you need to look past it's what we talked about earlier, first impressions. You need to look past the first impression and dig just that little bit deeper, and being able to just go beyond your box of yourself and include someone else into that understanding that you actually focus on. It is a skill. It's very challenging, and I respect anyone who can actually break into that.
It's like the difference between the micro of what your own self life is versus the macro of how it relates to the bigger picture. And, you know, humans, it's interesting because like this is all advice we've heard from elders and wisdom throughout our entire life, like the, you know, walk in another person's shoes kind of mentality. And it's just, it's like sage old advice, but so many people just don't do it, you know? It's like using a blinker when you're driving. Everybody tells you to do it, but right, exactly. So outside, or here's another question I did want to ask in regards to the Twitch. So your channel's grown quite a bit in the like 6-7 months you've been streaming. I remember when you told me that you were going to start streaming, I was so incredibly excited for you. It's always really exciting when really awesome people in your community decide that they want to take that leap and start streaming themselves. It's just an immediate, it's like a party. Where do you see your Twitch channel going in the next 1 to 2 years? Do you have any mid to long-term goals in mind that you're kind of striving for?
So I never have a goal to make partner or make it big or anything like that. My whole goal is to have a chat that's active enough with people that want to talk to me and just talk to each other, that playing the game is starting to get a little challenging. So just build a community of people who actively enjoy hanging out together, and people who I will get to understand, watch grow, and see what like the seasons of their lives that are going on, and maybe things they want to try, and maybe things that they experienced, and get to share all that with those people. So hit that sweet spot of I can barely keep up with chat.
Do you have
that's where I want to be.
Do you kind of have like a average viewer point where you've seen it? You're kind of right at that point. Is it like 40 viewers, 50 viewers, where you're kind of like bouncing back and forth, or is it not even viewer count? Like sometimes
it's not viewer count, because I've had 50 plus people in chat, and chat's dead. They just want to watch the video game that's going on the screen, and that's fine for what's going on, and I get that. And it's the people that came in that they're there to watch the game, and I totally respect that. So, and like the busiest my chat has ever been was at like 20 viewers. I had I sat down and thought after that stream, like, how many messages were typed in the chat? And I had to go back and just see how many, I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but it was an order of magnitude larger than what my usual stream gets. It was at 20 viewers.
Did you notice it was any specific topic you were bringing up, or were you doing, because I've noticed with my streams, whenever we go into like tier makers or you know, anything where it's like very, I want your opinion, give me your opinions in chat, that's when chat really pops off. So whereas sometimes, you know, you're just really focused on a boss in a game and chat's pretty dead because maybe a lot of them are watching or lurking. Do you kind of have a particular just chatting or tier maker or something that popped it off out of curiosity?
It was one of my Bloodborne playthroughs, because with Bloodborne specifically, I don't have to look at the game very much. So I can interact a lot with chat during Bloodborne playthroughs. So it was a Bloodborne playthrough, and we were talking about builds, and that somehow got into hobbies, and we just went off on a tangent there. I officially started my streams on December 28th. So it'll be 6 months then, in almost 2 weeks.
Right. It's right there.
Yeah. 6 months. And
do you have any
my half year
plans for like a 6 month, any party or anything you got in mind to do for like a celebration stream?
Beginning of July, I'm working out the schedule with the wife and work. I want to do either 12 or 24 hour stream, and also joint a birthday stream for me at the same time. So 6 month birthday, make it all line up for a big stream, and I'll have a lot of fun. I'm trying to get the wife to agree to 24, but that's not working out too well.
I mean, I've done a couple 12 hours, and my God, those are very difficult. And I swear I say it every single stream and every podcast, but like, I just don't understand in my psyche how Happy Pigs is able to do a 24 hour like every week. It doesn't compute in my brain how that's possible.
He's wired differently than many people. He's a unique human being, and I love him to death.
Yes.
He's such a great person.
Mike is amazing. Absolutely just one of the most fantastic humans I've had the pleasure of meeting on Twitch. It's really cool talking to like different streamers and kind of figuring out what that either brand identity they have, or what like kind of makes them different, makes them unique. You know, that's such an important thing. I feel like some people really kind of neglect sometimes when they're starting out with streaming. It's really important to figure out whatever makes you unique, whatever your brand style is, whatever makes you you, and just accent that and just go 100% in on it, you know?
Be yourself. That's the number one thing, is be who you are and be genuine.
Be genuine. Yeah. I mean, you always hear stories of some people who have thousands and thousands of viewers, or just whatever, like those really big YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and they just kind of felt burnt out from this personality show they're putting on. So yeah, I mean, the more genuine you can be, the more honest you can be with yourself, the more honest you can be with, you know, your community and your friends and everything, just the easier it will be, because there's nothing to fake. You're just being you. Exactly.
And I'm going to brag a little bit on that. So I had a friend come into stream. I didn't know their username, and I've known them since I was 11. Like, we played baseball together.
Nice.
We were like school friends, and eventually I said, "Hey, why don't you ever come to my streams? Because I told you when I stream." He said, "I'm there." I said, "What's your username?" And I found out, like, yeah, I've been interacting with my childhood friend that I didn't know was my childhood friend. And I said, okay, am I me? Am I me on stream? Because it's hard to hold the mirror to yourself sometimes. And he said, you are exactly who I see every single day when we interact. Everyone is getting what you are in real life. So I'm like, okay, yes.
That's a good feeling.
It was a great feeling because I'm doing what I wanted to do, and I know that I'm being genuine.
The more genuine you can be and just honest with it, you know, the better outcome. Growth might be slower, you know, getting that big break or whatever might take longer, but it's so important to be genuine because you just won't get burnt out as much. You'll just be more honest with yourself, and it'll be a smoother ride in the long run, right?
Absolutely.
Outside,
and you'll like yourself in the end.
Yes, that is most important. Outside of streaming on Twitch, do you have any plans or interests of pursuing any other original content on other platforms like TikTok or YouTube or anything?
Well, here, outside of, like, eventually I want to do some lore videos on YouTube. Ooh, yeah. You won't see me on TikTok. I'm too old for that.
No dancing. No dancing.
You won't see me dancing. No, I plan to do some lore videos. I plan to do eventually, if it actually works out, maybe take kind of the professional development stuff that I really enjoy and add some of my like work experience advice and maybe put that onto Twitch. One crazy thing I'm thinking about doing is doing more art. I do, like, this backdrop is mine. Like, I made this. I love abstract line art. I love very modern style art. So maybe explore this a little bit more because I've done a few paintings. I love doing them and just applying that.
You definitely should. Art streams are like one of the best things on Twitch. You know, you get some good background music, get the cool camera set up with your hand, kind of drawing or painting and stuff. Art streams are amazing. You 100% should do it.
I have a plan. This is like, I have a very twisted humor. I think people figured this out, especially with the new emote that I popped up that you've seen. The chicken wearing the tie, if you've seen it.
Yes, I actually saw it when I was getting ready for the show. I saw the new emotes. but the hype one is still my favorite.
Dr. McChojak did such a good job. So I have a play on words that I'm going to do with this, and I'm going to call it Lines with Suits. It's a terrible play on words, but I find it quite witty.
You definitely should, honestly. And the thing with art, I feel like I'm not an artist myself, but I definitely am a musician and play a lot of music and stuff. And I feel like it's similar part of your mind where you can just kind of close your eyes and just kind of get in the zone, and it's almost like an escape in a way, you know, a little bit.
This was so I had a terrible streaming accident that spawned this painting. I'm in this room on a much smaller desk than this. I got the tiniest desk I could. I had just built a computer, and 2 days later, I'm sitting there streaming, enjoying a beer, and I knock the beer over because the desk is so tiny.
Oh no!
Beer spills into the computer that's 2 days old, fries the motherboard, fries the processor. The video card survived. My GTX 980 that I'm running, that's I don't know how old, survived, so I'm lucky there. So I was so mad at myself. There's nothing I could do. My computer just smells like beer now because it just cooked the beer inside of it.
Yeah.
I went outside and said, okay, I'm going to channel this rage that I have right now into something that's healthy. And I made this painting.
That is a nightmare scenario right there. I just got my PC. I like moved it to where it's on kind of a shelf thing because it was on my desk and it was too big, and just everything's too big. I wish I got a bigger desk somehow, even though I got the biggest desk I could possibly find. But yeah, that would just nightmare scenario right there, dude. But it's awesome that you took that rage and spun something positive out of it instead of just screamed into the universe that everything hates me. Why did this happen? But channeling that's awesome. Like, and it has more
back up and running in a week.
Nice.
I was back up and running in a week
because you had your GPU.
because I had a GPU from so long ago.
Dude, the GPU market is like, it's impossible to get anything right now. It's insane.
I've looked and I'm like, I'm okay with what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to take the GPU out of someone else's hands that really needs it to play video games. So when this blows over, okay, I'll really dive in. Or if this dies, I'll get desperate.
But on the flip side, you do have a PS5, right?
I do have a PS5. I got incredibly lucky. I've been an avid Sony person forever. I've had PlayStation Plus since I think 2013.
Wow.
Or maybe 2012. I don't know. It was a long time ago. And I'm paid up on my PS Plus till 2025.
Holy crap.
So
on sale?
Yeah, every time it's on sale, I'm like, why not? And then it pops up on sale again, like, oh, why not? So Sony invited me in the end of September, said, hey, would you like a PS5? Here's your personal reserve slip that you just click on and say you want a PS5. So I got incredibly lucky there. So I had on release day a PS5 on my doorstep from Sony.
Wow, I think I heard some people got that exact same email, but like nothing was followed up with it. Or was it?
That's my PS5.
Man, it's so funny because every time I talk to somebody who has a PS5, they always start their story with, "Oh, I was so incredibly lucky," and then they jump into it. Like that's how you know how rare these things are now. Do you
it's go ahead.
Do you have any like games that you're playing on it aside from probably Demon Souls? Is that the big one?
Well, Demon Souls was the one that I was like, I bought this to play Demon Souls because I wanted to play Demon Souls. And then I finished, like, I platinumed it 12 days after release. So then
yeah, it's a short
I started diving back into my old games. And actually, let's see. The only other like dedicated PS5 game I've bought, this is going to be really sad, is Call of Duty Cold War.
Hey, Call of Duty's a banger, right? Can be.
I'm not your typical Call of Duty player, so I'm not into the multiplayer, but I do love me some zombies.
Yeah.
I do love playing zombies so much. So those are the only two like dedicated PS5 games that I have bought. Eventually I want to get Returnal. It's hard to justify the $70 purchase of a game nowadays, so if I don't need it now, I'll wait for it to go on sale.
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's so hard to justify that $70 price for a game, but at the same time, it's like, oh, but it's going. I'm such a believer that like developers should get every dollar that they can get, because I don't think developers and a lot of the people who make the games are paid what they should be paid in a lot of instances. But at the same time, $70 for a game is just insanity, especially when it's like a remaster of a PS4 game. Like I heard they're remastering, I think, The Last of Us for PS5. There's like a rumor or something was confirmed about that, and I'm like,
again,
really?
They're remastering the remaster.
They're remastering the remaster. That's what GTA 5 is going to happen to GTA 5 and Skyrim.
I know. They already have a release date for GTA 5. I'm like, again? Yes. How many times are you going to release this game?
Have they announced anything with Skyrim yet on PS5?
I'm surprised that they haven't, that I know of. I'm still surprised about it, because how many different versions of Skyrim are there?
There's Skyrim on everything. You could probably play Skyrim on your refrigerator or a Tamagotchi or something.
Probably. That's actually a game I've never played. I've never played Skyrim. I own it, just never have touched it.
I'm in the same boat. I have it. I think I put it into my PlayStation and played like 15 minutes of it, and then something was like, I don't know, I just didn't end up playing more of it for some reason, but I really want to. Everyone says the world's amazing. The music is like incredible to listen to, but it's one of those things. I feel like it's on the same level as like The Witcher 3 and Persona 5, where these are masterpieces of games, but they're so big and so long. Like the dedication,
80 hours,
right? 80 hours if you're like going main story, cruising through it, probably 200 plus if you do everything else.
Give me my Souls game. I'm happy with my Souls game.
So I'll be honest, like when I started playing the Souls games, I actually have like a ton of questions about like Souls, so I guess we could just jump straight into that.
Let's do it.
Your love of Soulsborne is deep, my friend. So, what got you interested in wanting to start doing challenge playthroughs like no death runs and weapon specific runs? Was it just kind of the getting to try something different?
Well, it spawns from the love. The challenges spawn from the love of one game in particular. I love Bloodborne, and part of that stems from my love of the cosmic horror genre, which is so seldomly touched in just any sort of media, and even when touched, it's done terribly. Bloodborne is one of the few things ever in media to do cosmic horror right. So it's just, I have a deep love of the game. For the no death run, I was thinking, I'll try this. I think I can do it. And then pushing like fellow members of my Discord group to get going on this, and just eventually having a race with it. And it was a lot of fun. Just doing something that is just, it's hard to do. And if you told me a year ago you will play Bloodborne deathless, like start to credits deathless, I would have said, okay, sure, fine. I like go back on whatever you're doing over there. So I don't believe you. But yeah, it was doing that. And the reason why, so the weapons runs, that's a whole nother tangent. I got into this specific like subgenre of the Bloodborne fan group of chalice modding and like save file modding, where you can actually build custom chalice dungeons by flipping certain hex bits and integrating certain things about the save file that changes a dungeon that you can then share with the world.
Interesting.
And so I've been in the hexadecimal save file code, learning how that operates. And then I sat down thinking about this, like, I can replace any item with any item. No one gets to watch someone grow with these weapons that are in Bloodborne, because you got to kill all these bosses to get the weapon, then you instantly get to plus 10, and they go at it from whatever the highest level is that they have the weapon at.
Right.
This way, I spawn in, I pull out the save file, go edit it, put in the exact weapon I want, start the game up, and then play through the entire game from the werewolf in the clinic to Orphan of Cause if I like the weapon. Just show, it's like I'm growing with this weapon. I'm building a build around this weapon, and we are experiencing and learning how this operates with the world around us together. And just doing a showcase that I've never seen anyone else do, and really exploring the nuances of each of these weapons. It's because the trick weapons are phenomenal. They're an amazing piece of game design, and you don't get to dive into the nitty-gritty details like you would if you did my favorite was a Rakuyo only run. Like I got to learn movesets that I just didn't know existed, and got to test them out real time and discover them real time. So it's fun to go on that journey with chat and get to experience that with all of us having this passion for this game together. And that's what spawned that, and that's why those weapon only challenge runs are so special to me, and that not many people can do that because they don't have the software and the hexadecimal know-how to make the editing, which again, I'm 100% transparent about, and I'm happy to teach anyone about it. But it's something that I like to share with the community, since I'm one of the few people out there that can and will do that.
Do you have a favorite weapon in Bloodborne, going through it so many times?
Oh,
like if you
it
had
really
to pick
depends
one.
If I had to pick one, am I doing PvP or PvE? Because there are two different answers.
Both.
Because
maybe one for both.
One for both. Church pick. Just an arcane church pick with either bolt or arcane, because just the moveset is so much fun on the church pick, and it's the only weapon in the game that has the two unregistered weapon affixes to it. It's both serrated and holy, which makes it really helpful in a lot of PvE situations. And yes, the moveset, if you ever want to have fun, charged R2, in an R2 in the tricked form, it just launches whoever's in front of you, and it's amazing, and it's fun in PvP because people don't expect you to have the follow-up ready to go, so they'll see you do the R2, they'll come in to punish, and then you just launch them in the air. It feels so good.
I haven't really played around with the church pick too much. I heard someone say, it might have been Jesus Here's Toast. He was talking about like the best DPS weapon being the saw cleaver. Do you think the saw cleaver 100%. Is overrated? Or do you think 100% it's worth
the
it?
saw cleaver is if you're going on raw DPS, saw cleaver has the highest possible raw DPS.
With the R1 attack, just like spamming R1?
R1 L1 specifically will net you more damage per stamina point than any other weapon that I know of in the game.
Interesting. That was my first weapon in my first Bloodborne playthrough when they were asking like what to pick up at the very beginning. I knew I wanted the saw cleaver because it was on the box art, and I'm like, oh, it looks so cool. Like, who else has a freaking saw cleaver? Like, some games have hunter axes and stuff, but like saw cleaver, come on. It's so just core to the Bloodborne iconography, I guess. You know, the hunter and the hunter Yarnum outfit and the saw cleaver and the blunderbuss. It's beautiful. I totally agree with everything you're saying about cosmic horror and like the HP Lovecraft vibes. And I've always loved HP Lovecraft and like looking up like comic art and reading through the stories, and it's so weird and fascinating and terrifying, and this unknown fear of like, you know, things that are outside of humanity's control. You know, this idea that we're being watched, or we can't even decide our own fates, just everything's being guided through us through cosmic beings. And it's so fascinating, but it's not really ever done well in anything. So yeah, when I first started playing Bloodborne, I thought it was just like a vampire werewolf kind of intro, and I'm like, hey, we're just killing like zombie werewolves, like that's cool. And then I think it was, what was it? I think it was like around the forest. I'm like, this is weird. This is getting into weird places. It's such a cool game. When I've been streaming on Twitch, I didn't really ever play games off stream much. Like, I pretty much just played the games when I was streaming, and it was Bloodborne. It was playing Bloodborne where after I beat it, I was like, you know what? I want to play that game off stream because it was so much fun, and I did a new game plus on it. And I think I went from using the saw cleaver to using the Holy Blade, I think, not the Moonlight Blade, just like the Ludwig's Holy Blade. And that was so different because saw cleaver is like pretty fast paced, and the Ludwig, I tried to use it in like the R2, like the heavy position mostly, and it was fun. It was different, but it was kind of like the Zweihander for Bloodborne.
Pretty much is. It pretty much is. You're 100% right there.
It's such a fun game, honestly. Do you think there's going to be a Bloodborne 2 at all? I know we've speculated about this before.
So from my understanding of Miyazaki, I do not ever see a Bloodborne 2 because Miyazaki loves playing in a new IP because he likes the borders of his sandbox to not exist, because once an IP exists, you have to play within the borders.
Right.
And putting the genius of Miyazaki into that little box of Bloodborne, even though it's a wonderful place to be, he doesn't enjoy it, and he will do everything he can to create a new IP.
I wonder why they went ahead with Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. I'm sure it might have been a studio cash push.
It was a studio decision, and it was an agreement that Bandai Namco had, like, from the onset. Also, Demon Souls was Miyazaki's first Souls. Unique thing from him, because he worked as a director beforehand for like an Armored Core game,
right,
which very different than your typical Souls game. And then if you look into Demon Souls, it sold I think it sold like 200,000 copies total.
Wow.
Like Sony dropped it. Sony said, we don't want any part of this.
Now it's a cult classic.
Exactly. That's why it was a Sony developed game. the IP was owned by Sony, and Sony said, we're not going to publish this anymore. And when I think Atlas, I don't remember how to properly pronounce their name, asked for distribution rights, Sony's like, yeah, go ahead. We don't care. We don't want this game. This game isn't doing anything in the Japanese market. And then they took that to the rest of the world, and it exploded. Wow. And what would have been like Dark Souls would have been a PlayStation only if Sony had actually stuck with the game that they got. In fact, the original thing Sony desired was a PlayStation exclusive Skyrim clone.
Wow.
That's what Demon Souls was supposed to be, a Skyrim clone. And Miyazaki's like, no, we don't need any of these. Let's do this.
This game's guy.
This game's already being canceled. Like they were saying, we're going to cancel the game. And he finished development on his own unique game that created a genre.
It did.
Yeah.
You know,
and Bandai Namco said this is good, and they signed a contract with From Software and said, okay, we're going to make Dark Souls.
I wonder how. So it was blowing up in America that eventually led to them okaying Dark Souls.
It was blowing up in America that made Bandai Namco note that this game is special and we want to make more of these games. And that's why it's available on all platforms, because it's not a Sony game, it's a Bandai Namco game.
Very interesting. So were they already working on Dark Souls 1 while Demon Souls was selling terribly?
Nope.
No.
It
was like a flop. They said it was a brand new IP that they gave to From Software. Very interesting. I haven't played the OG Dark Soul or the OG Demon Souls on the PS3, but I've seen some like video and gameplay of it, and it's
rough.
It definitely is rough looking for sure, but it has this almost someone was mentioning in chat months back, like this almost like ethereal vibe to it, like very different than Dark Souls. There's almost this like just ethereal kind of, I don't want to say holy, but just kind of like this weird feel about it. Not weird, but it's very unique. It's very unique.
Also, it has some HP Lovecraft tie-ins. There's
it?
A little bit of the kind of the elder god and the demon style that tied into it.
Very interesting. Yeah, Demon Souls is really cool. I was so frustrated. The thing with Demon Souls that's so frustrating for me is you literally start out, the first thing right out the gate, I mean, aside from the tutorial, which like is everybody pretty much dies to, unless your SuitsHere can get through the tutorial boss without dying. But it's Boletarian Palace. Starting off right out the gate at Boletarian Palace is like one of the roughest, just it's brutal. It's brutal.
It's huge.
Yes.
It's huge. And you get one shortcut, which barely matters. And then you unlock the second shortcut, which again, that shortcut really doesn't matter at all. Like the shortcut to the right, as soon as you get to the boss door, that shortcut, you'll never go through that door again.
Yeah.
Ever. That's literally just, well, you're here now. We have to let you not make you backtrack all the way. But it's rough. And then after you finally beat the boss and you go back to the Nexus, go talk to the Monumental. What?
Right. It's very vague. And they don't ever talk about what is it, the black eye and the white eye?
The tendency. They never talk about world tendency, and they never talk about character tendency, which is an entirely separate thing that also impacts your gameplay. And then if you're online, world tendency is tied to the aggregate world tendency of all people online. And these things just aren't discussed unless you go down to the hall of tutorial, which no one goes down, in the Nexus. And super convoluted.
Would you
There's
say
a reason why that wasn't done again.
Would you say that's, like, as much as we both love From Software and their games and Miyazaki and all that, do you think that's just bad game design in a way?
For the initial part, it was a good concept.
Yeah.
Because no one had done that before. Bad game design, yes. Because it breaks, without educating you, it breaks things that you would have never ever known. If there was like a blurb that, or like some quest dialogue that the maiden gave you, or even the monumental gave you about the world can darken, and even some convoluted stuff like that, or that maybe sent you down the path of, hey, look at world tendency, guy. If that was in there, then I would have I'd be much more tolerant of that design. But having nothing, I'm a bit miffed at that. And whenever I know someone's going to play Demon Souls, I have a phone call with them like, hey, there's this mechanic. I know you don't want spoilers, but this is super important because you can destroy your gameplay if you don't know this mechanic. Go kill yourself in the Nexus every time you're in body form. Only play in soul form. And they're like, why? I'm like, because this weird mechanic that's never explained. And then everyone thanks me afterwards when they out.
And for the love of everything, the moment, what is it, the Cling Ring in Boletarian Palace?
Oh,
For the love of everything, make your life easy and just spend your entire first hour trying to find it.
Just that.
It's yeah, like I felt that a lot going from, I feel like I might have made the toughest leap with the Souls game, because I went from, the first one I ever played was Bloodborne, which is it's definitely Souls like in so many ways, but it's very different than Dark Souls. Like there's no shield mechanic. It's you know, just the stats are similar but like different in ways. It's very different kind of beast. But Demon Souls is almost like an even weirder version of Dark Souls. So I went from Bloodborne to Demon Souls, and it took me like a week or week and a half, and I was like, nothing is clicking for me. I'm so frustrated at Boletarian Palace. I was there, man. I remember like, I'm out of souls, everything I own is broke. I got no grass.
Yeah, it's just and there's nothing anyone can do to help you until you beat that first boss. Nothing. You're on it alone. You can't level up. Nothing.
Right. The one benefit, though, for dying 10,000 times in the very first level is I had a whole crap ton of those fire bombs. And those were very handy for the first boss. But, and the other thing they don't quite explain is the fact that each one of these places, while you can start at like 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and just kind of go to the very end, aside from like the first world for spoiler reasons, it's best to actually go 1-1 and then 2-1 and like 3-1 and 4-1, 5-1, and then go like 1-2, 2-2, 3-2. But again, nothing ever explained. So, but I feel like I wouldn't even call that specifically bad design. That one's just more of a, the level gets harder the deeper you go, and it's just you can pick your own kind of adventure in that way, you know.
Well, and I'm okay with that, because like, if it's too hard, try something else.
Exactly. That's something these games are so good at. Like, they're so good at just putting, I love how in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, they've all done this. They'll put these like really strong enemies right at the very start of the game, like the ogre in Bloodborne. Like when you are in Central Yharnam, you could challenge him right away, but you're probably going to die so many times, like right out the gate. They're almost intended for you to come back at a later point when you have beefed up weapons and more levels, and then you learn what parrying is, you learn what backstabs and viscerals are. So many little things that I found in these games, just like, it adds to the replayability. These games are so replayable.
It's so true. And like, on that, like, Bloodborne I think has the best one. You spawn in the clinic, you kill the werewolf, you're staying in the courtyard, and you hear heavy footsteps and breathing. And it's an executioner on the other side of the wall waiting for you to go fight, that can give you a gem. But you can't use the gem until you kill Gascoigne anyway. Just tempting you like, hey, you can fight me. You can fight me if you want.
Exactly.
Try it.
You know, so playing through Bloodborne and first Souls game ever, after I was done with it, I played a little bit offline, kind of in between it, a Final Fantasy VII remake. And I don't know have you played Final Fantasy or like any of them by any chance?
I have played every numbered Final Fantasy up to Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Nice. Hell yeah. So we got a Final Fantasy veteran as well, my friend. But one thing I immediately noticed, and I'm almost calling it like the curse of Soulsborne, is playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake. There were so many things that were starting to bug me that would have never bugged me before, of so many hand holdings or items being given to me left and right, or like benches to heal at like every couple steps. And I'm like, or tutorials for literally every single thing. And I'm like, I've just been cursed. You've just been cursed by the Soulsborne, and you're like, I mean, maybe Soulsborne goes a little too far and no tutorials, no info, nothing sometimes, but you just, after playing it, you start to notice it in everything.
Right. And the combat in all these other games gets so mundane
compared to Soulsborne's.
Like, I went back and played a bit of Horizon Zero Dawn and a bit of Final Fantasy 15. I'm like, square. Yeah. Square. I'm like, I want my R1 into a circle, into an R2. Like, I want that. I'm missing that.
The only other game I can think of, and I haven't played, I don't have a deep library of games I've played, but the only other one that comes to my head that is maybe not even as good as Bloodborne, but I would say pretty close, would be God of War. The 2018 God of War was just, the gameplay was maybe not quite up to Bloodborne level, but it's really close. It's so good.
I have dabbled in that. I need to jump in again. I got I beat the tutorial basically and then stopped playing it.
Isn't it so interesting why we just like end up stop playing games for whatever reason?
And what's sad about that is like I'm a huge God of War fan. I've beaten all the game. I've beaten Chains of Olympus. I had my PS2 with God of War 1, God of War 2. I played God of War 3 on my PS3. I mean, I've played the God of War game, except this one. And part of it is such a far cry of what the other ones were. So it's different. It wasn't what I expected. I do want to go back though, because it looks like an amazing game, and I'm happy that they kind of reinvigorated the concept of Kratos into the PS4 generation with the new God of War, and I think it's going to be a great thing for many games to come for Sony and for Kratos.
You know, when I first got God of War, I pre-ordered it. I was so excited for it, and then I did the same thing. I think I played 5, 6, 7 hours of it, like just the very beginnings of it, and then I just ended up I just stopped playing it, and I don't really recall why, aside from I was like, this doesn't really feel like God of War. It's almost kind of like a different thing than what I was expecting. And then I ended up going back like a year or so later. I played Breath of the Wild and God of War for like the first time each back to back, so I got super spoiled. But yeah, it was just such an amazing experience. I feel like a lot of games are kind of doing this camera behind the back feel, you know? That's just kind of the new thing with so many games. Are you a fan of that style?
I like it, and personally, I'm not a fan of like FPS. I know I just talked about Call of Duty a little bit ago, but generally, I'm not a fan of FPS. So I am very okay with that style, because I like the little more awareness of my surroundings.
I recently was playing Doom Eternal, and I know we were talking about it a couple days ago, and that's the first time I've played an FPS in years, like really years. And it felt, honestly, especially that game, it's so incredibly fast paced. It felt like sensory overload. I'm not gonna lie. I was like playing through it, and then of course when you're streaming, you got to keep an eye on chat and raids and follows and all that stuff. So, oh man, there was a moment where I'm streaming and I'm just like, this is a little too much for my head. There's so much going on right now. But it's so right. Like when you're playing a first person shooter game or just an FPS in general, it's just a different kind of look, field of view, experience. It feels so much more like in your face almost, and I guess that's the point of it. But yeah, when you play like some of these third person games, you just get that more awareness, can spin the camera around, and it's very interesting how we just kind of start to gravitate towards different styles of gameplays, you know? Like some people love the 2D side scrollers. Have you played many of those?
Oh yes, many.
Metroid?
I have played every single 2D scroller Metroid ever.
Are you excited for Dread?
So excited! I am so excited for Dread. Like I love Bloodborne. Super Metroid is my one game above Bloodborne. I've beaten Bloodborne over 100 times. I've beaten Super Metroid over 1,000 times.
What?
Not kidding.
Holy crap!
Over 1,000 times I have beaten Super Metroid.
How does one do that? How fast can you beat it?
I am nowhere close to what I used to be, but my I would be able to run the game easily in under an hour.
Wow, that's crazy. Is there just like you can start off on the game, get something, and you get like, because I'm thinking of maybe like Super Mario, how you can go down the tunnel in the first world and get to like World 7, and is it similar to that?
Not at all.
Not at all.
It's all about the efficiency of your pathing. So you really only go through an area once, and
sure you get everything.
You skip the bonus areas that you don't need. So you only need like 4 energy tanks and like 35 missiles to finish the whole game. When in reality, you can get, I think it's like 18 energy tanks and 200 missiles that you could get, but you don't need all of it.
I've never really played Metroid, but I know so many people say it's like you gotta play it. The other one I've never played is Castlevania, but everyone says Castlevania is also just magnificent.
If you're going to do Castlevania, do Symphony of the Night.
Yes.
If you're going to do Metroid, do Super Metroid, because oh my gosh. Also, the Super Metroid fan base I found to be a pretty cool group of people.
The fan base, especially when it comes to streaming on Twitch, like the fan bases can totally make or break it.
Yes.
I've always kind of wanted to do, as fun as it is to mock, like I've always thought it'd be cool to do a battle royale stream of like, I don't know, Fortnite maybe, but I just always think the idea of like getting friends together in like an arena and just having a gladiator, like last person standing wins kind of thing is so cool. But I don't know, the fan bases, you know, sometimes of games like Fortnite just kind of, I don't know if I could do it. But a lot of people have been saying Apex Legends. Have you ever played Apex?
I have. Actually, one of my employees. That little side note, one of my employees streams Apex Legends, and that was an awkward conversation when I find out that I have multiple employees that also are Twitch affiliates.
No way.
So we actually have like little, like we'll go to lunch together and we'll say, hey, so Twitch, lighting, camera, plugins, OBS. So we get on this whole different tangent that they get to talk with their boss. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, that's super.
But yeah,
cool.
I have done Apex Legends a couple times. Again, I don't play many FPS, but it is fun.
Yeah, that one's probably the one battle royale I would love to play for sure. One of my favorite things that I've seen, and I did want to talk to you about this. I think it was my friends Delinquent Ghost and Much Manga. They were doing like, she was playing Dark Souls 1 for the very first time, and he's like a Dark Souls powerhouse veteran, and was doing like a co-op stream where they were both playing. I think is it PvE? Is that the term for it? Where you're like an ally with each other and going through the game? And
yes.
That was super, super cool. Have you ever thought about doing that with anyone? Didn't Decoy Manta and Mr. Dandy do that as well? I think they did.
They did that. They wanted to do very weird builds on specific weapons. So I actually consulted with them and said, hey, what weapon do you want? Here's the steps you need to do to get to that weapon as early as possible, and use custom chalice dungeons to unlock these certain things so you can play with these unique weapons and do a co-op playthrough. So they did that. I would love to do that with someone, where I walk someone through the game. I'm asking my wife very kindly, which I'm expecting her to say no, if she'd be willing to do Bloodborne, and I sit next to her for the whole thing.
Dude, that would be wildly cool. That would be awesome. Would you stream on Suits channel or on Skirt's channel?
I would leave that up to her because it's really her doing the dedication.
Yes.
I'd be happy. I would be super happy to stream it, but again, I would make it her decision.
Could you do like a co-op? What, I mean, you probably have a PS4 and PS5, right?
I only have a PS5 now. My cousin, who has 6 children, doesn't have a console. So I said, hey man, I have a PS5. Here's a PS4 Pro. So I now only have a PS5.
That is definitely best cousin material right there.
Love him to death. He's a great guy.
Dude, that is a really cool idea though. I think those ways of playing these games, I mean, because aside from mostly what I play is first playthroughs, like I play a game I've never played before, play through it and then move on to the next one, which is fun, but it's always fun to see people take those games and think like, I mean, you could play Dark Souls 1 new game plus 500 for the millionth time, you know, but like playing it in a way that's different, whether it's co-oping with somebody or doing like a weapon only run, or just taking these steps, these rules for yourself that just add more flavor to it, you know? It's a fun way of doing it. Do you have plans?
I love it.
Do you have plans for like another Bloodborne weapon only run, or?
Oh, yes.
What's coming up?
Yes, absolutely. So when I get back to the weapon onlys, right now it's a first play of Sekiro that I'm going through right now. So experiencing this beautiful From Software game for the first time. But I usually put a poll up in my Discord and on Twitter and say, hey, here's these weapons that I haven't done yet. Pick one, guys. And so once they pick one, I go make the save file, get it ready, and then line up the next couple streams of us to go through the weapon together. So yes, they will definitely start again soon, but that's after I wanted to take a break from Bloodborne after doing the Deathless run, because that was a grind. That was fun. It was a blast, and being able to say that I've done it is amazing. But I wanted to take a break from the stress of going through a challenge run. It's
sweaty palms.
It's not sweaty palms. Like you can feel your like heart beating. You get to the you get closer and closer, and it didn't help that my bar was set so high. Like my first run through the entire game, I died 3 times. Wow. So it was I had this tiny number to start showing progress on. So it was that didn't help that much.
So on the Deathless run, and so 2-part question on the Deathless run, who was the most consistently difficult boss that if you really weren't paying attention, you could easily die to? I would say maybe Shadows of Yharnam, pretty tough.
Shadows never gave me a hard time.
Really?
Because, well, all their attacks are really simple, and it all comes down to spacing to solve. And so then I just had a kill order where I'd go through, like I'd kill this one, this one, this one, and just focus each one down, and it would progressively get easier as the fight went along. And you could basically, if you time it correctly, you can skip phase 3 completely.
Just and go ham on them.
In all my challenge runs that I had, I experienced phase 3 once. Wow. One single time I experienced phase 3. Yeah, the snakes. That is the phase 3 signature right there. It would have to be either Mikolash, because Mikolash is just that has so many weird things, and I died a lot of times.
Attack, right?
The call beyond attack triggering when you're not even properly in the room yet was one death I had.
What?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm falling, call beyond happens, I land in the wrong spot, and I just get nuked.
Oh no.
It's just like, well, that happened. Run over. Then the other one is that gave me a hard time is actually One Reborn, because remember, I'm going through this at a lower level, and if I didn't make sure my positioning was perfect with One Reborn, I could easily squash me, or even if I break a limb when I'm in certain spots, I can get trapped. So I can't go anywhere and then get killed instantly.
So aside from the no deathless run, if we're including all the Bloodborne bosses, then who do you think is the most difficult?
Oh, it would either be Orphan of Cause or Lawrence.
I would definitely say Lawrence. Like I've played Bloodborne now 3 times. That's very shy of hundreds, like yourself, King. But the times I've played it, like I haven't really struggled too much with Orphan. He's kind of been like a really fun dance. The second phase can be pretty all over the place, but it felt for me like a pretty solid dance. Lawrence is just a pain in the freaking ass. I hate fighting Lawrence. I almost on my second time was like, you know what? I'm just going to skip Lawrence. That was the only boss I hadn't defeated. I'm just going to go straight to Gehrman. Or I mean, whoever's at the end. And then I just took a couple days off from it and ended up like finishing him next time. But yeah, Lawrence is a pain in the ass.
So question for you, have you ever thought about doing a weird build for one of your runs, or doing like a crazy underleveled build for anything for Bloodborne?
I want to do a soul level 4. I definitely want to do that one of these days. On my second playthrough and my third playthrough, I only used a single weapon on both of them. So the second one I used just the Holy Blade, and the third one I used the Chikage, and that one was actually really tough. That was a tough weapon to use because you can't apply light like the bolt or fire paper to it, and it's not serrated at all. So that was a really tough weapon to use against Lawrence, and yeah, that one was a toughie. It was fun, and I'm doing that now I'm playing Dark Souls 1 again off stream, and I'm actually almost at the end of it, but I've been using the Chaos Blade, and same exact thing. Really fun to use, really hits hard, and is like a good weapon. But the fact that you can't apply fire paper or like the lightning paper or anything to it just makes it really tough in those situations where you normally would apply it, you know?
I do.
They're really, really fun weapons, and it's fun. Like the dexterity fights are like so much different than just having a massive Zweihander just slam down every enemy in front of you. Out of all the Soulsborne games, because you haven't beaten Sekiro yet, right?
I have not. But I'm super close.
Of all the bosses you fought in all the games, which one do you think is like truly the most difficult for you?
So I quit Bloodborne twice in my playthrough. On my road to platinum, I quit it twice. Once was Bloodstarved Beast, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was definitely not doing it right. And Bloodstarved Beast is like, it's a skill check. It is an absolute skill check. And it's your first time to deal with poison or like resistances, and you're having more things that you're juggling. So whenever someone says I had trouble with Bloodstarved Beast, like, I was there with you.
I feel ya.
The hardest boss for me in all of Bloodborne, which now just isn't a problem at all for me, is the Defiled Amygdala. So the Amygdala in the Defiled Chalice, where your HP's at half, and you're trying to fight this thing that every time it hits you, you have to use 2 blood vials.
Yeah, it just hits like a tank.
Oh gosh, hits so hard. And there's a couple one-shot moves that it has, but it's contradictory to every single Bloodborne boss you fought till that point, because aggression is the answer in so many cases with Bloodborne. Amygdala, it's all about patience and punishment and just those little bits of reward that you're chipping away and just timing out the boss. You cannot brute force Amygdala. Even more so then.
Is the Defiled Amygdala, because I haven't fought in that one in the Chalice Dungeons. Unfortunately, I haven't really explored the Chalice Dungeons too much. But is the moveset the same as the regular?
100% the same as the regular.
When I was
a much smaller arena.
Oh, right, because the Chalice Dungeon rooms are pretty tiny.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing the Chikage run, I was struggling with Amygdala a lot on that one. That one literally took me, and I think it was new game +2 at that point, so they were tougher bosses, had more health and everything, and I must have fought Amygdala like 30 plus times. I was really struggling because I couldn't use lightning paper, the bolt paper, and the Chikage, like, it doesn't have that overhead swing, so like too much. So it's a lot of times, like when I was playing on my first and second playthrough, you just go straight for the head when, you know, she kind of falls down a little bit, but you can't really do that. So that was a really, really tough one. Yeah, doing those weapon only runs it's so much fun because you get to use a weapon you wouldn't maybe normally use, but it's tough because there's just some weapons that just work better for some enemies, and the games are designed for you to have 2 or 3 or 4 that you kind of swap in between depending on the enemy. And if you're like just brute forcing a boss with a weapon that isn't best for it, it can be a struggle bus.
Oh, so you did for your playthroughs, you did them all in the same character, so you didn't do a custom build.
I did not
for each of those weapons. Oh, okay, yeah. That'll make a Chikage run hard.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it was because I did that I wanted to do the Chaos Blade in Dark Souls 1, because it was I don't know, it's so much different than the Zweihander or the Holy Blade that just smacks down everything in its face. I'm kind of struggling a little bit, honestly, with Dark Souls 2, because I feel like I haven't quite found the weapon that clicks yet. Like Saw Cleaver was easy in Bloodborne, Zweihander was like right away in Dark Souls 1, but I just haven't found that like I don't know what to use, you know?
It's weird. So here's when I was playing Dark Souls 2, like I went for I forget, I think it was just called Greatsword, and there were some bosses that I just could not touch with the Greatsword.
Slow.
And slow is not the way for Dark Souls 2. So getting a little speedy weapon has seemed to do the best for me in Dark Souls 2. Also, Dark Souls 2 has such a different engine. The interaction, the timing, the pacing, everything is so different in Dark Souls 2 that it's you can't go into it saying, okay, it's another Souls game. It's like it feels entirely different.
I totally agree. I've talked a couple times before, like it almost feels more like a Demon Souls 2 than it does feel like a Dark Souls 2, aside from the world tendency stuff, that side of it. But it's the way the health just like slowly deteriorates down is very Demon Souls-esque.
It really is. And the other thing with the engine itself, which props on them for making the engine, just you in all the other Souls games, you lock on, you attack, your attack is going to go where that lock on is. Not Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, that's not the case at all. And learning to play around that made the biggest difference in my playthrough. Dark Souls 2 is not a game I really ever want to go back to. It's not a game I want to platinum. All the other From Software games I've played, I want to go back to. I want platinum.
You know, I can really feel I know Miyazaki was involved with Dark Souls 2. I know he had his hands in it, but he was very much focused on Bloodborne when he was like, that was his 95% of his attention was on that. And you can really see it. It almost feels more of like Dark Souls 1 mixed with a Skyrim world than it does like a Dark Souls world. Because like right away, I mean, the Majula's beautiful, like the areas are cool. Like I think
Majula music.
Yeah. Same with like Firelink Shrine, like in Dark Souls 1. Like there's something about just going to an area and hearing distinctive music for that area I love so much. And I really, that's probably the one thing that keeps Bloodborne and all these games from being like a perfect 10 out of 10 for me, is coming from the Final Fantasy side of things and Zelda side of things. When you come to like a new area, there's like distinctive music that plays when you're in that area. There's distinctive, you know, just like cutscenes. There's a lot of cutscenes in these games, a lot of story focused moments in them. And these games don't really have that as much. Like I really wish there was a central Yharnam theme that would play, and then you move on to like the Hemwick Charnel and there's like a Hemwick theme that would play, or like a Cathedral Ward theme that would play. I feel like that'd be so cool, but they save the music for the bosses, and it's amazing music, but I always
it's phenomenal.
It's so good, but I always found when I was fighting these, like I was never paying attention to the music because I was just trying to not get hit by the bosses.
Like in my deathless runs, I actually just muted the music. Like everyone knows what the songs are.
Yeah.
And I'm grinding this out. This is going to be, you're going to hear Gascoigne's theme over and over
Might be the
and
best
over.
one.
So it's a good one, but there's only so many times you can hear Gascoigne's theme in a single stream, because believe me, I've had a few streams where I had to beat Gascoigne time. So it was all just mute the music, lo-fi, let's go. And the juxtaposition of having the lo-fi kind of
chilling in the background.
Yeah, just going,
like hacking.
And where there's just violent displays on the screen is it's kind of fun.
And then you see like the visceral backstab and you're like, oh yeah, and then just this chill lo-fi in the background. Yeah, exactly. Do you feel kind of that way, that these games could benefit from having like more music dispersed throughout them? Because I have heard some people argue against it, that having that displacement of music means that when you actually hear it, it's more impactful, and then also that silence gives like an airiness to the world that it's a dead world, you know? How do you kind of feel about that?
For these games, not like for all the other games that have the music, yes, absolutely. But for the Souls games in particular, the ambiance that you get by immersing yourself entirely in the world, where all the sounds you hear, you know where they're coming from. Like you'll hear footsteps on stairs, or rustling in the grass, or moaning in the background, and it's all placed in this soundstage that brings you into the world, that if you had music playing over that, that'd be gone, because you'd be hearing the music. So I with like specifically Bloodborne, because Bloodborne has the thickest ambiance of all the games. Specifically with Bloodborne, I think especially for first playthroughs, not having that music does so much to your immersion, and so much for you just receiving what this world is offering to you, and the intricacy that is still hidden there, that just it adds a depth by adding the silence. It's so unusual.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point. One thing I know we talked about earlier when we were talking about the idea of if there could ever be a Bloodborne 2, that Miyazaki's kind of against that and likes to do like individual projects in a masterful way and then kind of move on to the next thing. It really reminds me a bit of like Final Fantasy games, in the sense of how, at least how they used to be like years ago back in the day, how you'd have Final Fantasy 6. It was a masterpiece of a game, but they were not going to do a sequel because they were already moving on to 7. They released 7, masterpiece of a game. They're not going to do anything else because they're already moving on to 8. And I'm like split-minded about that, because while it would be so cool to get more Bloodborne lore Bloodborne lore, and kind of get more character backstory on like Wilhelm or Lawrence and all of these characters, the other part of me though is just, I gotta respect it from like an artist perspective. Like they created a masterpiece, and then you just let it be, let it age like a fine wine, and just move on to the next project. It's so hard to do that, you know, because it's so easy to just cash out, for them to be like, you made a masterpiece, here's all the money, here's all the resources, make your next Bloodborne 2 masterpiece, do whatever you want. And it's got to be so tempting, but from his artist perspective, he's like, how he shuts it out, it's very respectful, you know.
If there is a Bloodborne 2, there are facets in the lore that are left unexplored, to the point that they could easily make a sequel with enough just content. But yeah, leaving that behind, I totally respect it, no matter how much I don't like it.
Right.
I want more.
We all want more. Yeah. And so kind of stemming off that, we are getting more in a different way. What are your thoughts and feelings on Elden Ring so far, Suits?
Oh my gosh. So I've been on the Elden Ring train since E3 2019.
Yeah.
I've been like religiously following it. I am not one of the people that went hollow, I will say, but I have lived on that Elden Ring Reddit, just like, what has come out? What has come out? Just anything? Nothing? Okay. Elden Ring is such a, I think, a true, it's a genius piece to take on intricacies from Norse lore and then drastically make it into what this concept that George R.R. Martin and I almost went the wrong way, and what Miyazaki have imagined into this beautiful lore, and seeing how deep they can take it. Being a new IP also excites me because the freedom that they have with it being a new intellectual property. There's no boundary on how deep this is going to go or where they're going to take it. It makes me really excited. Their implementation of open world, I'm a little nervous about. It's a new concept. It's an entirely new way of making a video game for them that I'm a little nervous about, that to see how that implementation happens. And I'm still gonna play it as soon as it comes out. I'm still super excited about it. I'm planning to take days off work to play it.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited, yet I'm not sold that it's going to be the next great masterpiece that Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3 are.
I have a theory that because that white tree is very prominent in the entire world of Elden Ring, I almost have a theory that that's somehow going to be connected to like a final boss in a way. You're gonna have,
maybe.
Do you have any theories about what it could be?
The only theory I have, and like it's not much of a theory, is that it's spawned from Yggdrasil, and the amount of lore tied to Yggdrasil in Norse mythology has so many important events tied to that tree, and I expect it to be a recurring theme in the stories of the many bosses that we face. And go ahead.
Have they mentioned specifically that it's going to be based and influenced from Norse mythology specifically?
That has been mentioned specifically. I think it was in an interview with George R.R. Martin.
Gotcha.
If you want to know more, Miyazaki did an interview. I'll send you the video, and that interview answers so many questions that many people had about what Elden Ring is and what the plans are that the trailer and the other interviews just have not answered.
When I first saw the trailer the other day, Miyazaki just has an art style that is so unique and almost like nightmarish in the best way possible, because every single, like, of course it says From Software, everything right at the beginning, so you know that it's Elden Ring right from the gate, but the enemies and the bosses, and they're just like straight out of a nightmare that he was able to remember and write down when he woke up, because you can just see the Dark Souls 1 influence, you can see the Bloodborne influence and just everything from it, but it has its own unique style I'm incredibly excited for it, honestly.
I am too. I cannot wait to see what they've done. Cannot wait.
Did you use a lot of magic when you were playing through Dark Souls, Bloodborne, kind of like through those games? Were you a pretty big magic user?
Not so much. I usually went the tried and true sword and board when I went into the games. Demon Souls, I did do magic because I heard magic was the easy mode. I thought, no, what? I got the game. I'm going for platinum. I need to collect all the spells. I'm going to go ahead and do magic my first playthrough.
Nice.
Which, by the way, anyone, magic is easy mode for Demon Souls. If you want to make it easy, go play magic.
I've heard pyromancy is the same for Dark Souls 1, right?
I've heard that too. I've never done a pyromancy playthrough in Dark Souls. It makes sense. There's a few bosses that I don't even know how you fight with pyromancy, because there's an entire fire section.
Oh, like the centipede demon and stuff like that?
Right, or ceaseless discharge without cheesing. How would you... I don't know how you would fight that with just pyromancy.
Yeah. That whole area, just bed of chaos.
Yes.
Bed of chaos. You know, I kind of got lucky my first time playing through DS1 because like I think I took down Bed of Chaos in like 3 or 4 tries, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, on I think my second playthrough of it now, it's taken me like 20 times because every time I just come down the tunnel and land, just immediately that arm tree branch swipes me to death, and it's like I literally didn't do anything. I didn't even get a roll. It was just land, swipe, death. And someone was saying that Miyazaki even directly said like or apologized for Bed of Chaos. Have you heard of that?
I have, and yeah, it's one of the worst bosses ever made for a Souls game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's not really a boss.
It's not. It's like it's just a puzzle, and it kind of feels like the dragon from Demon Souls. Like there's so much build up for it, especially in Demon Souls. Like that dragon's on the box art and it's in the trailers. It's iconic, and then you get to the boss, and it's such a letdown.
Yeah, really, you don't have to have any skill. You could run through there naked and get there. I mean, there's nothing about that. Like anyone you could just equip a sword, go through there naked, and it really isn't a hard thing. It's just you go when you're supposed to go. It was a letdown.
So speaking of,
I did go through the Dragon God blind. And it took me a little bit to figure out, I will say.
Oh, the red light, green light kind of mechanic?
It took me a bit to figure that out. So, that is one of the 2 bosses that killed me in my Demon Soul playthrough.
What was the other one?
Man-eaters.
Oh, man-eaters. Oh my god. Even the name. Did you ever struggle with Flame Lurker?
Nope. First try.
Yeah, I didn't struggle either. I think I got Flame Lurker like second try, but Flame Lurker is like a lot of people say in the League of Man-Eater, like a very difficult boss. And
it makes sense because, especially at the time, most bosses in the game are gimmicky. There's a gimmick to them. You play the gimmick, you win.
Flame Lurker's a real boss.
The Flame Lurker, it's get good, son. And that's about it.
Right?
I'm sorry.
I felt that a lot with Demon Souls, especially coming from Bloodborne, where like almost every boss is amazing, 10 out of 10, like incredible. Coming to Demon Souls, it felt like the areas of getting to the boss were the toughest part, and then
100%.
It's almost like a reward when you get to the boss, because it's like, here's an enemy that you can they're super slow, they have these huge wind up build up attacks, and yeah, they're very easy to take down for sure. In the talk of worst bosses in the Soulsborne games, do you have a favorite from the Soulsborne games that you always look forward to fighting?
Lady Maria.
Yes.
Always
Yes.
Lady Maria. If I like that, just at the top of my list every single time, Lady Maria has been my most enjoyable Soulsborne boss I have ever fought.
There needs to be like a boss, I don't know, like a boss arena where once you defeat the bosses, you can just go in and be like, I want to fight Lady Maria or Kaz or insert any boss here, Father Gascoigne. And it'd be cool to just like pick the bosses and fight them, because that's like the best part of these games are the bosses. And to be able to go through and just boss arena them would be awesome.
That was actually a concept that they planned to do, boss rush modes in Bloodborne. That in the code exists
What?
Lost Chalice dungeons for boss rush, where you beat a boss, the door opens, there's another boss room. Good luck. No replenishing, no resting, just go boss. And it's a cool concept, but it sadly was scrapped for the final version of Bloodborne.
That's a shame.
There's a lot of really cool cut content from Bloodborne that has been restored, or there's some references of it, including like Master Willem was a boss in the alpha.
What?
Yeah, Master Willem was a boss in the alpha instead of Rom for that area.
Ooh, that's really cool. Do you like Rom as a boss? Actually, it was watching your stream of the Deathless run where you use the Beast Blood pellet and then like punch Rom to build up your gauge. Immediately after that, later that night when I was playing Bloodborne, I was at that area of the game. I legitimately started trying that. It works. It does good damage.
It does great damage, and I've timed it a couple times. I never got really good at it. I didn't fight Rom enough in my runs to master it. But there's a way to single phase her with that, where you just like, she never teleports, she just dies.
Wow.
And whenever that happens, it feels great when that. Because then it's over, and you don't have to worry about things.
Those spiders are so annoying. Do you usually go, is your strategy to take out the spiders one at a time and then go for Rom, or just kind of weave around them and try to get some hits in at Rom?
For Deathless, phase 1, kill spiders, face Rom. Phase 2, 3, run in, hit, run out.
Gotcha.
Because I usually am able to skip phase 2, so now there's 24 spiders there. And arcane aerial attacks coming in at you, and you have 24 spiders all trying to jump you. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah,
it's all about being on the move so they can't ever actually get to you, and just chipping away at the last bit of health on Rom.
Do you struggle with the aerial attacks coming at you, or have you gotten pretty good at like dodging them?
I'm really good at dodging them now, because there's auditory cues when they're going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you watch Rom, it's really easy. The tells are really clear on Rom for knowing what type of attack is happening, because if you're far enough away, there's only one attack that she'll do. It's the aerial attack.
I struggled with Rom a lot on my first playthrough.
Do not blame you at all. That Rom is a hard boss. Rom has the best lore, in my opinion, or some of the best lore, in my opinion, of all the bosses in Bloodborne.
Rom wasn't an actual great one, right? Rom was sorry.
Rom was once a student of the College of Bergenworth, and then was on the team that did the discovery of Ebriatus, however you want to say it, because it's never said in game. And Ebriatus turned Rom into a great one to basically hide what the moon presence was doing to the world, and shield the world from what was reality and what terrors that lie beyond what was in Yarhargul, and hide what the terrors that the College of Bergenworth had discovered. So if you notice in Bergenworth, the bridge just stops and goes into the lake. What would have been on the other side of that bridge?
Oh, what would be?
The lecture building. The lecture building was once part of the College of Bergenworth and is now hidden away in a nightmare. And that's where that bridge was leading to.
Wow. I don't know if I ever realized that. That's very interesting.
Also, if you're in the College of Bergenworth, another little hidden thing left over from early
Mm-hmm.
lore is on the first floor, you'll see a trap door that never opens. Just there's a closed trap door there. It's theorized, not 100% verified, theorized that was where they started to research the Chalice dungeons, was from that point.
Interesting. Like that was kind of what kicked it off?
Mm-hmm. It was the College of Bergenworth that initially discovered like the existence of these ancient beings and the rituals around the chalices, and then it was the church who took that, made it into a religion, and then shunned the College of Learning because they were into studying and not being reverent of these things.
Do you think there's any specific reason as to why they wanted Rom to hide because essentially what Rom is doing is hiding the cosmic horrors of the world from the general population, right?
I think it's more of a fact that Ebriatus was kind of cares for those around her.
Trying to help humans.
Yes, from this massive thing that's beyond human comprehension, understanding, or even like it's just on a different scale. So why make us worry about it?
That makes me feel even more terrible running up to Ebriatus while she's just snoozing and then just going for like a backstab and just starting whacking her.
Oh, you're going to feel even worse. Have you ever looked what she's snoozing in front of?
It's like a stone Rom sculpture thing, right?
Is it a sculpture or is it the remains of? Is it the remains of Rom from when you killed Rom? Is she mourning over the remains of basically her child that you slaughtered.
Oh boy.
I'm looking forward to doing a lore playthrough, by the way. I have 200 plus pages of content that I am slowly ciphering through and positioning in ways where I will play the game start to finish, including DLC. And like, here are my talking points. I need to make sure I talk about all these things. If I need verbiage, here's the verbiage I'm going to read to chat, and then break that down into a mini series that I plan to put on YouTube eventually.
Dude, that would be really, really cool. I think that could give Vatsy Vidya a run for her money, honestly.
I don't have his voice, but man, I'll try.
He does have that voice. He has that, like, the School of Bergenworth.
So perfect, too.
It is. Do you think... I think, honestly, I haven't played a lot of DLCs in video games, but of the DLCs I've played, the Bloodborne DLC is arguably the best I've ever played. It's so good. And
so good.
At first, it starts out like when I first was playing it, it almost was like, are they just reskinning the Grand Cathedral? That's kind of like a cheap way to go. But like after 10% into it, you're like, whoa, what are we getting into? And then the Blood River with Ludwig is so like morbid. That's the whole thing with this game. There's so many things, like you can just kill something and kind of move along, but if you like stop and look and think and observe the area you're in, the hospital, especially the patients of the hospital, it's so morbid, but it's like something maybe only Miyazaki could ever do, and that's just what makes him such a dark, nightmarish genius in that way, you know?
Absolutely.
It's a big reason why I'm really still just really enjoying the Demon Souls and Dark Souls, because it's just such a... You can see it in the boss designs, like even in things like, you know, as crap as Bed of Chaos is as a boss, the whole backstory of Bed of Chaos, the whole design of Bed of Chaos is really, really cool. The design of Seath, the design of the Four Kings is really, really cool. I mean, ONS is probably my favorite, or maybe not favorite, but like hardest boss I've like ever fought in a video game, and absolutely one of my favorites. They're so much fun. The arena, the music, the way they perfectly complement each other. There's just so many little things that they do in these games that have really just brought out this love that I don't know if I could ever think like a series could match Final Fantasy for like favorite series of all time, but like the Souls games are definitely like probably number 2 at this point and really climbing up there. So
they're special.
They're
truly special.
I get it. I get why people like them. I get why people are like, these insanely brutal, tough games are so much fun and I'm addicted. And honestly, like, I feel like a big part of that too, honestly, through this journey playing them has been you specifically. Like, you've been
thank you.
So helpful and just encouraging, and the Soulsborne community on Twitch especially, for such a brutal, dark, twisted game genre. The people who like play these games and love these games and live for these games are like some of the best people I've ever met, and they're so encouraging and helpful, and a lot of them are really good about not giving any tips or just kind of letting people explore, and then if they're getting frustrated, then they'll offer tips. So I just want to say big thank you for my own personal journey through them. You've been an awesome friend to share this experience with.
It's been my pleasure. It's been a joy getting into Twitch and being able to be part of this wonderful Soulsborne community, and you're one of the catalysts for me, man.
Dude, I appreciate it so much. Like, truly, streaming on Twitch, the best part about all of it is the people and the friends we make along the way. And we got to have that barbecue in Portland one of these days, my friend.
Absolutely, my man. We'll make it happen, I promise.
Aside from Soulsborne, because I knew we were going to spend a lot of time talking about Soulsborne, which I was super excited for. But another thing off that I really am intrigued with, I did read that you are a pretty big vinyl collector and quite a big audio fan. Sorry. So my question with this, sorry, I had a brain fart there for a moment. Yes. Oh my God. Led Zeppelin 4. Dude,
Led Zeppelin 4.
My favorite band of all time. Yes, with the Stairway to Heaven.
Yes.
Oh my god, I was literally listening to that yesterday.
I mean,
one of the GOAT albums.
There's a reason. Like I have just one of my redeems on my channel is show off a vinyl. Yeah, and I have, oh my gosh, like here's a rare one of the first 10,000 pressings of Eye in the Sky by Alan Parsons Project. Alan Parsons was one of the sound engineers for Dark Side of the Moon, for Abbey Road, for the Beatles, and this is part of his solo work. So like I have like original pressings. I have this very rare Overture of 1812 by Tchaikovsky, where instead of timpanis, they did it as Tchaikovsky asked and played it with cannons. What? So there are legit cannons being fired to make this piece. What? I have some, like, everyone knows, like, come on.
I mean, classic.
Every 90s kid knows this.
Do you think
it's just, yeah.
Do you think
I have several hundred?
When it comes to like listening to music on vinyl versus streaming it, I don't have a vinyl player myself. I've never gotten into that, but I love music. Is it the ritual kind of experience of listening to it on vinyl that makes it for you?
So I have a very, very high-end system. So there's like, I draw a line here. The ritual is amazing, but there is more you get out of a song if you listen to it in the way it was originally recorded and originally intended. So music from 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s were designed to be played on a record, and on a record player, sitting there listening to it and having that ritual that ties you to it, having this, like, the wonderful huge artwork with all these little facts and the lyrics inside the album. They get to express more artistry of what that they created rather than just the audio that you are listening to when you're streaming. But really, it is very challenging for someone to tell the difference between vinyl and digital. So if you want to jump into vinyl, if you want it just for the ritual, go for it. If you want it to be better,
don't go for
buck up with a lot of cash. It is a lot to make your vinyl like be able to be noticeably better than what this streaming service is. So if a song was originally recorded in a digital recording studio, pretty much any modern music, like if I'm going to listen to Bjork, I'm not listening to her on vinyl. I have Bjork vinyl, but I'm not going to listen to it on vinyl. I'm going to listen to it in the actual digital recording straight from the masters and enjoy it that way, because it's going through less steps to get to you. Whereas vinyl, like, I search for original pressing to get the sound as close to what it was supposed to be. It's an addiction.
That's very interesting. I never thought of it that way, like specifically with how it was specifically at that time period made, using the hardware available at that time to mimic the experience. That I never really connected those pieces together. I know with vinyls, there's a collection aspect of it, right? Like each one it's almost like a book and a collection that you can hold
exactly.
You can feel it, you can take the artwork out and the lyrics, and that would be why I would want to start a vinyl collection.
You're closer to the interaction,
right?
And it's that's really cool and really fun aspect of it. But know that know the limitations when you're getting into it. If you're saying it's going to be the best sounding thing ever, it may not. Be prepared for it to not be. And like I'm never one to tell people you need to spend all your money to get to this point. And just I'm there to say, hey, here's be realistic here, and I don't want you wasting your money on something you think is going to be amazing and just really isn't commonly for you.
I've always thought it would be fun to, like, just get a cheaper record player and essentially just have it for like albums that are very special that I'm gonna listen to the day I die, like albums like Dark Side of the Moon, Led Zeppelin. I mean, all Led Zeppelin albums. Just like incredible albums that are just like a staple of my life, and not so much as like I've never heard of this band or this song before, I'm gonna buy a vinyl of it. Like, that's not exactly the way of going about it. Just more of the this is something that's so personal and dear to me, and I'm gonna be 90, 100 years old still listening to this music. So that's where the collection would come in. I do gotta ask, on the Led Zeppelin 4 album you have, is that the one where it only has the Stairway lyrics in it? Or does it have like a Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Battle of Evermore? Because I think it was Led Zeppelin 4, they only had the lyrics to Stairway to Heaven on it. I don't believe they had any of the other songs.
There it is. I mean, let's look. It's right here.
It's such a good album.
It is such a good album.
I do usually end up skipping the song Four Sticks. For whatever reason, that one never stuck with me. Ooh.
Only Stairway lyrics. Only Stairway lyrics.
I know that song is so overplayed, and it's like, it's the band even themselves think there's so many other songs that they have that are great, but there's something, I still get chills driving on the freeway and Stairway to Heaven comes on the radio. I still get cheers like every step of the way. I still watch videos about it. That was one of the songs, like when I was learning to play guitar, I'm like, I have to, as cheesy as it is, it's cheesy because it's so overplayed, but it is such a special song, you know?
Are you the guy that gets the dirty look in the guitar store when you start playing Stairway to Heaven?
You know, I honestly don't know if I've ever played Stairway. Actually, I did play Stairway to Heaven on the piano one time at Guitar Center, and I got a pass on that one.
Okay, good.
But I did end up, I went to Guitar Center one time and they had the double neck guitar that Jimmy Page would use. And they let me like strap it on and try it. And I was like 15-year-old kid. I have no idea why they would let me do that now that I'm thinking about it. But that thing was like 30 pounds. That was such a heavy guitar to play.
It's a Gibson SG double neck, right?
It is. And it was the red one. And it was just, it was awesome. It was an experience. But I ended up getting a Les Paul. That was like my my wedding gift to myself. My wife said, we're like looking at guitars, and Guitar Center had a used one that someone had bought, and they returned it after a week, and it had like a slight microscopic little kind of chip on it, and it was like $500 off, and it was like same one that Jimmy Page had used, and it was just, I couldn't press the buy button because it was so expensive. And I'm like, I've always wanted it, but $2,000 for a guitar, like what the F, like why? And she ended up, she like grabbed the computer and she bought it. And I'm like, oh my God. See, the thing with instruments though, and guitars and saxophones and just like instruments in general, is I always see them as like art pieces that you can take off the wall and play, you know?
100%. Like I still have my my SG Special that I pull out of the case every now and then and look at it. I'm like, you're so nice. I never touch you anymore though.
They're so beautiful. You know, they really, really are. Whether you use them for playing all the time or even just hang them up and play them occasionally. Like there's so many times I'll look over, and I don't have my Les Paul now because it's at the shop getting set up.
Good.
Just like,
I remember we had the conversation that there was like some fretboard issues or some truss rod issues going on with it.
Yeah, a week or so ago. What ended up happening was I was playing. I'm really aggressive playing. I went through a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan phase growing up, and so pretty much all of his playing is like hitting as hard as possible in some instances. So I've just always developed a habit of like playing guitar extremely aggressively. And so I break my guitar strings like every single month, essentially. And I broke the high E string, and I was like, it's fine, I'll kind of roll with it for a little bit. And then I broke the G string, and then I broke the A string like 5 minutes later. And I'm like, okay, I should probably take it in now and get this everything all set up again for it. But that was a little bit of a tangent, my bad. Do you play any instruments yourself? Do you obviously play guitar?
I used to play guitar, and I used to play piano. Those are two things that I have let fall by the wayside as the journey of life has pushed me forward.
Do you ever think you'll pick either of them back up, or just maybe sparingly?
No. Here's a fun story. One, I'll start out, I'm okay, so we'll start out with that story. But when I was 19, I was bit on the back of my left elbow by a black widow. And so I have like My left hand is permanently numb.
What?
From the nerve damage from the neurotoxin of the Black Widow.
Like you can poke it with a knife and
I could barely feel anything.
What?
So hitting the frets is a little bit harder for me nowadays. So it's just, I haven't put the effort into it and just focused on doing other things.
Wow. Did you get to like a hospital pretty quick after you got bit, or?
I did, but there's not, honestly, with a Black Widow bite, there's not much they can do unless you're having a really bad reaction just to stabilize you. Just the neurotoxin is going to run its course. If you don't look like you're dying, there's not much they can do.
Really? Like if you were in that state of having an adverse reaction or dying or something, like what would they do? Do they just stick you with a needle and antibiotics?
They can, well, it's not antibiotics because since it's not a bacterial thing going on, they'll just make sure that you have enough adrenaline in your system to start pumping it out. They make sure your oxygen levels are at the appropriate level, that things are just, your body's working properly, and to enhance what's starting to shut down to make sure that you keep going.
That's terrifying. That is just, I'm not a spider fan at all myself. Spiders are just up there for things I'm just not into. So Black Widow,
weird.
My
they
God.
Don't bug me.
Oh,
spiders don't bug me, and I have every reason to hate them. Nope, they don't bug me at all.
Oh, spiders! I'm not a fan. One question I did want to ask in terms of like the albums and vinyls and everything. So, as somebody that is an album listener, what are your thoughts on listening to an album all the way through versus just those individual songs or like greatest hits or on the radio? There's a different experience, right?
It's a completely different experience, and some songs are only good when they're sandwiched between these other songs. But also, that's an art that's disappearing.
Yes.
Because now albums are coming out because they are like, we're selling these hits and we need these fillers to make an album to make money for these hits to sell. And so they actually have like percentiles of hits that they go for, and so the artistry behind that is starting to deteriorate for many of the mainstream media. Like if you listen to, let's see, what's one, like pretty much any R&B album or hip hop album recently, it's just go for the hit, put in filler, and no one ever listens to the filler, and no one cares. And it becomes just this big money machine that you lose out of the artistry behind it. Whereas on the indie scene, which I live fairly close to Austin, so I get to touch on the indie scene now and then, I get to experience the indie scene of music where that artistry is still alive and well and still just thriving.
I will kind of push a little back on that. The two hip hop artists that do phenomenal album experiences, if you haven't listened to them, have a life-changing experience. Suits. Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly.
Kendrick Lamar, his album Damn. Oh my God.
Also Damn.
Oh my God.
Very, very good. Have you listened to Pimp a Butterfly by any chance?
I've not. I will have to go listen to that.
That literally might be my favorite hip hop album. Maybe not specific songs in there, but as a complete experience, it is a life-changing jazz hip hop. You will absolutely love it, my friend.
Dr. Dre's early albums were phenomenal. Phenomenal. Just press play, listen to the whole thing. It was a story.
Yes.
I love those.
Yes. The other one I'll say, have you heard of Run the Jewels?
I have heard of Run the Jewels. Yes.
All of, aside, maybe not their first one, but their second, third, and fourth album are just the way the songs flow into each other. You have like really aggressive songs and then calmer songs, and there's like tidbits. I always love when albums have songs with like little tidbits into the next song, you know, like the flow is just subtly there. Run the Jewels, also like hip hop alternative, very political, but just very masterful lyricists and just the way their albums flow together. That is such a thing, like you said, that's just going out of style, it seems, and it's such a shame because when you listen to something, like anybody that's listened to Dark Side of the Moon with headphones on and just close their eyes and listen to it, that is an experience unlike anything you may ever hear again. So the album experience is I'm such an album listener. Favorite album? What is your favorite album? Favorite
non-soundtrack album.
favorite album.
Because I have one I can spout off while you're thinking. Daft Punk's Discovery.
Ooh, that's
I just had to
good.
lay down an album, Daft Punk's Discovery is my absolute favorite album experience right there.
That's a really good one. That's a really, really good one. I don't know, like one single album. Like I'm guessing it's if you're going to an island and you can only bring one album with you for the rest of your life.
Right.
Oh man. I would probably have to say a Led Zeppelin album because they're probably my number one favorite artists of all time.
That's fair.
I kind of want to say Led Zeppelin 4, but maybe so hard. Favorite album.
Graffiti's another good one.
Physical Graffiti, even Led Zeppelin 2. Like my God, Led Zeppelin 2 is just pure amazingness. I'd probably have to say Led Zeppelin 4, just right on the spot right now this second.
That's fine.
But if you ask me in another minute, it'll probably be something different. Like OK Computer is also super good up there. Kid A is amazing. I mean, Radiohead is right up there with Led Zeppelin too.
Radiohead's another artist, by the way, that is amazing on vinyl because they record in analog. Yeah. Unlike many other artists recording digitally. So the analog recording translates perfectly onto vinyl.
You know, I always heard all the love about Radiohead, and what's so interesting is like I really genuinely don't think I ever heard the song Creep until well into I was binging through Radiohead's discography, and then just come to find out it's like up there with Smells Like Teen Spirit as like a song of the 90s, and I'm like, really? That's like, it's that big? And I listened to OK Computer one time because everyone was saying it's like the best thing in the entire existence of humanity, and I didn't get it. I was like, I'm not sure what all this is about, and then I got intoxicated on some green vegetables, shall we say, and yeah, it immediately hit me, and I was like just mesmerized with it. I was on my phone reading the lyrics along with every single song. I had my headphones like this, like, and it was up there with Dark Side of the Moon kind of experience, like song to song to song, the way like exit music hits, and it's just such a builder, and then just yeah, it's an experience. 100%.
Have you jumped down the prog rock world yet? Okay, I love, give me some Emerson, Lake and Palmer, get me some Rush, and then even
Genesis.
More modern kind of and even some more modern stuff like Dream Theater's Octavarium. That album, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've just played Octavarium start to finish. Just go. I am dedicating this hour and a half to sit here and enjoy all these tracks.
Metropolis is that album is just a masterful. Like
it's so good.
I know prog for some people is just kind of like the elitism of music. I've heard some people say, but like if you just like understand how music works and how like certain chords work over each other, oh my God, listening to Dream Theater is like, I imagine it would be like a chef who's really good at cooking going to experience like the greatest chef in the world and having just more appreciation, you know, than the common man, as you would say.
You won't find 4/4 timing very often in prog rock.
my coworker was telling me that I needed to listen to the new Tool album when it came out, and I'd never listened to Tool, never was into it or anything, and then I listened to it, and right away, as a musician, I immediately just notice and understand when a song's not in 4/4 timing, and it immediately grabs my attention, and I'm like, okay, what is this, like 5/8 or 7/8? What is going on here? I'm immediately interested, and that was another album, like laying back on the bed listening to it. It was, that's another great album I'm a big fan of.
Get something going in 29-30 seconds over here.
yes Oh, and sometimes I will say, sometimes with Dream Theater specifically, there's some stuff where I'm just like, did they just sit down and were just mathing this out and trying, like almost feel like they were trying to make it as complex as it could be to give themselves a challenge, you know? But that's what's so amazing about like progressive music is the changes, the key signature changes, the time signature changes. The band has to be so in sync with each other and know what's coming up to be able to play it. And it's so, when it's masterfully done, it's just unlike anything you've ever heard before.
And they're not as popular, like prog rock isn't as popular as your common typical rock, because you can't bop the prog rock really. And then take that even further, you can't dance to it. And then the lyrics are never in this like, I'm going to play like dance to this, like have this chorus going in my head, because the chorus like leads into the bridge, which leads into this, and the song structure is just so complex that it's a story in and of itself that is told through like chords and time signatures and lyrics and these wonderful intricacies of melodies that you can't just sit there and jive to.
100% I agree. And what makes some of the best like Dream Theater albums specifically so good is how some song lyrics relate to other song lyrics, and it really creates this like, it's not even like it's a song to song to song, it's like a chapter of an overarching story.
Right.
Just really
and everything
cool.
Weaves together, and there's like themes in one piece that end up in this other piece, and then like Octavarium ends up kind of having themes of the 7 tracks before it, and it just goes into this, it's this incredibly complex thing that if you want to sit and relax and listen to music, this isn't for you typically. And that's what most music does, so that's why prog rock isn't as popular as many other mainstream things.
I would even put like jazz, like some good jazz, in that same exact category, because jazz is, I mean, there's some pop jazz and some, you know, you can dance to it jazz, but there's a lot of jazz that if you just are not listening to it or not bopping to it, like it can sound like noise to a lot of people that have no idea what's going on, especially like bebop and a lot of that really crazy stuff, these crazy chord changes and like scales and everything. There's so much going on, but when you like break it down, it's so methodical. They knew what they were doing, they knew how to play over each other, and it's just watching like masters at work, you know.
Yeah. Case in point, Bitches Brew by Miles Davis. That whole album, amazing, but you're in for a ride, buddy.
And then on the opposite side of that, like Kind of Blue is kind of like the flip polar opposite of that, because that's something anybody, like if somebody comes up to you and they're like, I know nothing about jazz, but I kind of want to get in. Kind of Blue. Listen to it.
Done.
You'll get it right off of that. Man, I love talking to people who really understand just music. I'm a firm believer that like every decade has amazing music in it and amazing artists in it and amazing genres, and it always frustrates me when some people are like, all the music nowadays suck, and I'm like, no, there's amazing music today, there was amazing music yesterday, decades ago. Like there's always going to be amazing music in different genres from different artists all over, but you kind of do have to do a little bit of digging and do some legwork, and you can't just turn the radio on and expect to hear, you know, the grand maestro at work, essentially.
Well, keep in mind, what we're hearing of the greatest hits are the greatest hits of the decade.
True.
That's what the radio's like, because they've already gone through the collection. They've already selected the best. So you have all this wonderful nostalgia and just understanding of what came from there that's just being blasted at you and just perfect after perfect. Whereas today, it's new. We haven't gone through it yet. It hasn't had time to evolve into the understanding that we need to define what this next thing is that's going to define the music world, because it's just an ever-changing scene.
Isn't it so fascinating with music? And I feel the same with like movies as well. You can just like listen to it and you have no idea what the song is, who the artist is. It could be a brand new song, and you can almost immediately identify what decade it's in. You're like, that sounds like an 80s song for sure, or that sounds like it could have been in the 60s with like the Beatles and stuff like that. You can just hear the decade in it.
And part of it is like the equipment being used. Part of it is like the storage technology. Like, well, even breaking it down to equipment, you can hear it's a Fender or it's a Gibson.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
Super easy.
Yes.
And then like it's not either of those. So there's kind of those three sounds you get. Like it's a Fender, it's a Gibson, it's an oddball for like the 70s 80s rock.
And versus nowadays, like everything is so processed digitally through a computer. Like, I mean, I've heard some guitar players make their Les Paul sound more like a Stratocaster than a Stratocaster. And whereas back then, like there wasn't that much of that kind of digital alteration at all. So you can really hear when, you know, Jimi Hendrix is using a Stratocaster and Jimmy Page is using a Les Paul, like through a Marshall amp. You're like, you can just hear the sound. So music is, we could spend the next like 10 hours talking about music. It's so good. But I did hear or read one other super fascinating thing that I did want to jump into here real quick. I also read you're really interested in car racing. Do you
my goodness.
Do you yourself race, or are you more of a fan of watching the races?
I used to race competitively. Like in legal sanctioned national circuits, I used to race. And
car, motorcycle,
car racing. And it specifically, I did what's called it's small agility courses. So I never got into like letting it rip open in fourth or fifth gear. It was all about how well you could handle your vehicle on a very tight track and really learn how the car behaves and what you need to do. Lines, like following racing lines, were important. Knowing when to shift, knowing when to brake, knowing when to press the gas. It was super accentuated in such these tight tracks, and I had so much fun. Sadly, racing is not a cheap hobby at all. I mean, if something breaks, you're fixing a car. Since when is fixing a car affordable?
Right.
And so I had this tiny little Toyota 3rd Gen MR2, and I adored that car. And I spent so much time just tinkering with her and just getting to really feel the track. And I was very lucky when I got into car racing that I had a mentor come along with me who has multi-time podium finisher, national champion, like an amazing driver, and he really helped carry me along. Eventually I plan to get back into like sim racing because I love just handling a car. I love that visceral feel, but doing it in a more cost efficient, more responsible manner that a family man needs to do nowadays.
So I've been interested in trying like the sim racing and stuff. I just got like triple monitors, and I know a lot of people really like to use them for like sim racing and stuff like that. So the other one I've been wanting to try is Squadrons. Have you played that at all?
I've downloaded it. I have not played it yet. Do I need to? I
haven't played it myself at all. I've watched a couple videos on it, and it essentially looks like racing, but you're in Star Wars in space, which looks really cool. I've been having some like weird ass issues with my computer though, like lately, where they're all 4K. All three of them are 4K, and I don't know if it's like my 3090 can't handle all of them, because they're also all 144 hertz.
Ooh.
Which I know is like kind of maxing out the tip of the iceberg essentially. And there's been times where I'm like today I was editing in Premiere Pro, like editing like a clip for podcast, while editing the thumbnail on this monitor in Photoshop, while having like 8 Chrome tabs open over here and having like music playing and talking, and it was, my whole computer like completely crashed on me and took like 10 minutes to boot back up. So I'm like, please don't fry, I just got you, please. But
you have a killer computer too.
It is, yeah. I got a 5950X and a 3090. So it kind of just went like top of the line, because I'm a big believer in like buying very high-end good stuff and just keeping it forever, like keeping it, you know. That's how we are with like our cars, with computer stuff. Just like buy expensive stuff because it's good quality, you'll love it, you'll enjoy it, and just don't buy the next one, the hot next one, the 4090 when it comes out next year. Just keep it, ride it out for 5 years, 10 years, as long as you can. And then when something breaks and it's like irreplaceably kind of broken, then that's when kind of looking at upgrading.
That's a very good way to do it. Good way to do it.
I feel
also like you're a heavy content creator, so you need horsepower behind what all you do.
Yeah, I don't know how, I was telling my wife today, I'm like, I don't know if I should have got 3 4K 144 hertz monitors. Like, because I was watching a Linus Tech Tip video and he was saying with the 3090 now 4K monitors are a thing, but I don't think he specified anywhere that 144 hertz as well. So yeah,
and three of them,
because when you math that out, that's like 500 million pixels times 144. Right.
Good God. And then because that's the cap, is how many pixels per second that a card can just put out. That's one of the limiting factors. And yeah, you may be hitting it with 500 million pixels.
Right. Oh, honestly, like my room here is usually pretty cool, and I like always keep the fan on. And after streams and after podcasts, you could probably see it a little bit. Oh, this thing just like heats the room up. Like it is hot.
Yes,
it's toasty. We won't need to turn our heater on for the winter at all. We good. We good.
Oh boy.
On we kind of went off on a computer tangent there. On the car racing stuff, have you seen the movie Ford versus Ferrari by any chance?
I have. It's amazing.
We just watched it like a week ago for the first time ever, and I immediately wanted to rewatch it again. It was really good.
It goes to show how amazing the GT40 was, and the amount of engineering and how much it changed the complete industry by this. And that's the one really cool thing about the Le Mans races is it's not only about who's the fastest. It adds reliability into the equation as well.
Time.
Right, and you're running this card hard for 24 hours, and if it breaks, you fix it and you put it back on the track, or you just stop.
Right.
And the amount of people that were not finishing races back then, this was a much larger number than what is now going on today. And the car racing industry pushes technology further and further from what we experience today. So like Formula One cars had, like back in the 80s, had certain things that 90s and 2000s cars now have because of the engineering push that has happened from just these races. It's really cool to see just that trickle down effect that happened.
It's cool seeing that just in all technology, like seeing it almost makes you open your eyes and realize like these really huge, powerful business people of the world like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they're probably really living like 10 years in the future when they're in their laboratories with their engineers, like their high up advanced engineers who are planning the next thing like 4 or 5 models down the road. Yeah, they're probably living in some kind of future that would be really cool. Like imagine just being Jeff Bezos and just like looking at some technology and like, yeah, this will come out in like 2027 when we're ready for it, when costs and production come down. But that'd be really cool to get a glimpse of the future,
of what's to come. Yeah. Working in IT, I see some of that. Like I see of the concepts that are coming down and just some of the capabilities that are just cost prohibitive to get into that just now exist, and the evolution that has happened from that technology is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I really wonder if this is going to be the decade of like the AR glasses, kind of like Google Glass, but in a way better way. Do you think that could be a thing?
Absolutely, that could be a thing. The Google Glass really broke down because there was no way to do the miniaturization that was needed to have the Google Glass be as efficient as it needed to be. But with just the low energy LCD technology that they can do transparent over glasses now, that you then connect via Bluetooth, and then it's just this very, very lightweight pair of glasses running on very high-end batteries. It's entirely plausible, and that should be coming out. I would not be surprised if that came out sooner rather than later. I just imagine, I've always thought like people having conversations, because I used to work in cell phones, selling cell phones, like I was in retail sales and stuff and all that. And I don't know, I feel like smartphones are just this technology that's taken over the world. And I mean, I see it everywhere, like people driving and they're on their phone, they get to the next light and then they got to look at their phone again. They get to the next light, they got to look at their phone again. People at families at dinner and like
5-6 people just all on their phones, and it's just this technology that's completely overtaken our lives. And I just wonder how that's going to be when we have it literally, instead of like a screen right here, we have it like right here in our face, you know? Like, are people really going to be looking you in the eye and talking to you? Or are they going to be looking like over here at their message or their Twitter feed or something?
And about that, from coming from the cyber world, realizing how much of yourself that you give away when you start getting into these devices, just
Except
like,
the
we can
user
talk,
agreement.
Yeah, accept the user agreement and realize that I randomly talked about this certain thing with another friend of mine, and lo and behold, what's on my Google ads, what's on my Facebook ads, but
God.
exactly what how many times have you seen that?
Yes.
And you just realize that's them skimming very little information. Imagine like they have all your emails. They have like everything about your life goes through these devices, goes through these services. The amount of privacy that like you have to surrender in order to just operate as a human day to day in today's world is like terrifying. And then the people who don't realize what they're giving up when they jump into this is, I mean, I understand why people don't know, but yeah, it's terrifying. Like I've sold my soul. I've sold my soul. Google knows everything about me, and it's part of how you have to live nowadays.
Isn't it so interesting to think that this like little device in your hand knows more about you than probably your closest partner, wife, spouse, family, parents? Like, this device literally knows you more than any other creature, soul, human on the entire face of the planet.
It knows what you want before you know what you want.
Yes. I've had this conversation with a couple people that about what you were just saying. You're having a conversation with someone, like, let's say we're talking about guitars, and the next thing you know, there's going to be guitar advertisements all over Facebook and YouTube and stuff. Like, I see that as one of two things. Either these companies are lying to us and really are listening to our microphones and using that data to give us these insanely accurate ads, or possibly even more terrifying than that, their algorithms are so advanced and so incredibly, they know you better than you know yourself, that they know that you're going to be wanting that guitar or going to be wanting those new pair of shoes or what, that new video game that's about to come out. Like, they just know you better than you know yourself. And both are terrifying. Like, companies spying on us illegally is terrifying, or, you know, algorithms that are more advanced than we give credit for are terrifying. But I feel like that algorithm one might be the scarier of the two.
One fun thing that has happened to me, I have like my personal Instagram account and my Twitch Instagram account. The ads I get on both of these are extremely different, and it's quite funny to see, like, this side thinks that Twitch streamer side wants this. Twitch streamer wants this, and Twitch streamer doesn't define me that much as a human being. And then the family side of me, like my day-to-day life, thinks I want this. I'm like, yeah, you're pretty right. Like, no, I don't care about TikTok dances.
Right.
The dichotomy of those two Instagram accounts, because I have them entirely digitally separated, like into like distinct sandboxes where no two shall meet, and it's really cool to see just how different they are.
So here's a question for you. I think we might be very similar in this regard. Have you told anybody your real name? Like, does anybody know the real SuitsHere, your name?
There are a few people, and those few people are like some of them are like, we're looking for a job in the industry that I'm in. I'm like, hey, send me your resume, we'll talk. Like when Doro got doxxed, I'm like, hey man, this is who I really am. I know you're getting doxxed. Let me help you. You know who I really am. Because it's just, I know, like, he was at like, Doro getting doxxed was a very vulnerable moment. It was a scary time. Like, hey,
yeah,
look, here's my Instagram. I am who I say I am. I'll help you out. Not my Instagram, sorry, my LinkedIn. Yeah, my LinkedIn. Like, it's super fresh. And then a couple other people have been like trying to break into my industry. I've been doing some just talking to them about how to break in, what they need to do, and I give them my work email address. It's like, here, email me your resume to here. Let's talk. And so I take it to a different level when it's starting to get into like the more professional side of my life.
Yeah. It's I'm kind of in that same boat where like there's only I think one person who knows what my actual name is, and when I first started streaming, I almost thought of it as like how hip hop artists have like a stage name, or like book artists have like a pen name. You just have like this almost separate persona. And I always thought eventually I would kind of, say my real name and get more personal. But like hearing stories about what happened with Doro and just, I don't know, the internet's a really scary place. And
it doesn't help. Well, one, Doro is out there with his real name. Also, Doro's real name is extremely unique, so it made it easy, and I showed him that. But like for me and you, we don't hesitate to say what city we live in, because we live in major metropolitan area.
Austin.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck finding
millions of people.
Yeah. Good luck.
Exactly.
And so like there's certain things just to protect you from the wild internet that's out there, because the wild internet's open to everyone and not everyone's a good person. Right. So doing the little bit of anonymity of hiding your actual name or even certain other private details is enough to just let people know that, hey, I want to connect with you. That's why, hey, I live in Texas. This is kind of what I do in Texas, but then leave out the very key information for finding out exactly who I am, and protect your family and just the crazy things that can happen from that.
Right. I 1000% agree. And it's not that you don't want to have like as close a personal relationship with these people as you can. It's just, the world's a scary place. People are scary. And just, if you can just put as many, not shields, but safeguards in place just to be on the safe side, it's going to do more good than bad.
And it's not like you or I have an issue with our community that we're building up and sharing together. It's who else is out there.
Right. Since
we're the focal point of all these things that are going on, and making sure you maintain that little bit of anonymity from being the focal point. I 100% agree and 100% get it. And then that's why only a handful actually know me on like an IRL basis, because then it's like, well, we already have a conversation going. There's other things going on. There's like already like some other social agreements happening that then we get to the IRL side. And very few people who have come to the IRL side from the Twitch interactions have stayed there, because it was just more like professional. I'm going to consult with your resume, help talk you through it, and then go on your own way. And like, I'm still Suits to you, and you're still your screen name to me.
Right. Do you kind of have that same feeling with some of the people you work with that also stream? Do they ever call you Suits in a fun way?
In work, we always call each other by our own, because
name.
I work in a very professional office environment. So
yo, Suits.
Randomly saying like being called Suits, okay. Or like one of the people I have like a unique screen name, and or named after a storybook character, and randomly calling someone after the name of a fairy tale.
Be a head scratcher.
It may not go over well in the office.
Right. Totally makes sense. 100%. So I do have a last few questions before we wrap up this amazing conversation that we've had. One that I love to talk about with people one question I always love to bring up is, what is one thing that you love about streaming on Twitch?
It's the community. It's getting to interact with people. And just before I was streaming on Twitch, before the pandemic, I would host like monthly wine socials at my house. I was all about building a community and getting to interact with more people. And then just COVID taking that away from me, and then I found myself in Twitch. It's been a wonderful place to be. It just, the people make it. I don't really care what video game is on your screen. I'm all about interacting with all the other people.
100%. I love hearing people say that, because it just goes to show that, I mean, if people are coming to Twitch to make boatloads of money or become super duper famous and all that, like, can happen, but you know, it's like winning the lottery. So when you kind of look at it for more of just what is this platform and what can I use it for, what can I get out of it, what can I give to it, the fact that you can just connect with, you know, you can have friends in Japan and Holland and, you know, Egypt and Australia, and they can all be in the same stream at the same time. Almost IRL conversing that's where we're at with technology. And
it's so great.
There's been times I've been streaming and I'm just playing, and then I'll just have this moment, like this light bulb in my head, and I'm like, dude, we're like scattered all across the world in real time talking. This is so cool. It's pretty amazing. Technology always blows my mind. On the converse side of that, conversely, what is one thing you do not enjoy about streaming on Twitch?
The one thing I don't enjoy is that so many people make it a numbers game. And by living the numbers game, you tear yourself apart and tear others apart. Like, I'm susceptible to that. Like, I've even played the numbers game. I've gone to the websites and see what my stats are, and then questioning myself, like, what did I do wrong? What do I need to change? So you, instead of taking it for the ride of who you are and what you're trying to do, you end up trying to figure out just beating yourself over things that you can't control. Like, you probably noticed, like, we all look at numbers. We're all streamers. We all look at numbers. Like last week had pretty low numbers for many streamers, specifically because it was finals week. And then I look like, did I do something wrong? Am I changing something? And then it took me a while to realize everyone's having bad numbers. It's what's going on in the world right now. And then just stop beating yourself up. So the numbers detracting from many of the other things you love about streaming and putting an extra burden on yourself and more stress is the one thing I don't like about Twitch.
I've honestly been feeling that very much personally. I've been very much caught in my head mentally these past like 2-3 weeks about just numbers dropping. It's weird. I feel like when I left my job to do this full time, you know, I feel like it's just been a roller coaster of emotions and mental hurdles. And Dora and I spent a long time last week talking just really in depth about this, just about how these mental hurdles of constantly comparing yourself, constantly getting lost in the numbers, constantly looking at others, and you're like, why are they hitting partner or doing this or hitting that or getting hundreds of viewers, and you know, I'm not getting that. There's just so many things that come up, and there's so many reasons that can happen. You know, it could be finals week. It could just be, there's so many things outside of our control that we can't control, why people can't like visit our streams or don't visit our streams. And it's been tough, me personally, trying to kind of get over that mental hurdle. But I took a week off of streaming, and there was a lot of like looking in the mirror and just, why do you stream? What originally started you on streaming? What do you get out of it that has nothing to do with numbers or subs or anything like that? Like, what's the content? Like, what's the heart of why you do this? And like I said earlier, if it's money and if it's getting famous, it's just, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Like, you're not gonna be happy with it months to come. So I totally agree with that so much. And I feel like a lot of us are kind of feeling that, you know, that drop in numbers. Why is this happening? Did I do something wrong? And just taking that step back and looking at it for the right reasons can go such a long way, Suits. So last 2 questions for you, my friend, before we wrap up this podcast. In your own words, what does streaming mean to you, Suits?
Streaming means I get to interact with unique people from around the world and explore who these individuals are. Like, it's a hobby of mine of really finding out what makes each individual person tick and what makes each individual person just unique. Like, even one of my channel points redeemed is, do I know a guy? Which is a random thing to be on there, because like, throughout my life, I've been the person that knows everyone. And that's because I enjoy digging into what each individual person has. I have one friend who plays the harpsichord on his spare time. Yeah,
What?
random fact. Yeah, why would I know that my buddy plays the harpsichord ever? Because he just does it for fun. It's such a random thing that this developer also does.
That's a cool instrument.
It's a weird instrument. It's really cool, but finding out by taking the interactions of people to that level where you're getting to share things about them and about yourself, and that's what streaming is for me, is just getting to interact with all people's from all these walks of life and other countries, and growing up in entirely different facets, and getting to see that and experience all these cultural diversities and these like upbringing diversities makes me so excited to stream every single week.
That is an absolute A+ reason. I love that answer 100%. Last question for you, my friend. Where can all of our viewers and listeners connect with you online?
All of you can connect with me on Twitch really easily at SuitsHere. You can see me on YouTube with my little content I have, and I am always available on Discord. I have it up, and I will respond to any DM that I get.
And links to all of those socials absolutely are going to be down in the description below. So definitely check out Suits on all the social media links when you get a chance. You will not be sorry. Thank you all so much for watching and listening to this week's episode of the Zephcast. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help the channel out a lot. And if you want to see more of your favorite content creators, streamers, and podcasters in the near future, don't forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free to do so, and we'll be having even more exciting content coming up soon. Thank you all again for watching. ZephyrsXP, Suits here, and I'll catch you all in the next one, my friends. Much love, everybody.